hope you're ready for this.
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn, hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Needs a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
So hello and welcome to the 79th episode of the Nexus Trolls, a podcast all about Heroes of the Storm, part of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Daz, and I'm joined today for the last time by Mystic and LiQuiud. It's been an awesome journey, boys. Glad to be part of it with you two. We've got Bacon on this week too. Bacon, thanks for joining us. I know we tweeted out that Goon was going to join us because he's going to be the host going forward. But we were saying, you know what? If we have anyone subbing in for Goon on the final episode that me, LiQuiud, and Mystic do together, it's got to be Bacon or Bust. So we're glad you could join us on the show, bud.
Well, thank you for having me. It is an honor, and yeah, it's a sad event, but let's try to make the most of it.
No, it's not sad.
It's exciting.
Who wants Goon here, man?
Well, hey, listen.
Come on, guys, you guys are crazy.
If people don't like Goon, they can always head over to the GankBush Squad because we know that's a quality podcast.
Oh, no, that's
man.
worse.
Look at that, he's doing it for you.
Oh my gosh.
So
We're not even 5 minutes in, we're already pitching GankBush Squad.
if you guys don't know, so
I'm gonna put a little spice in there.
yeah, so Bacon, like, in case listeners don't know, and they probably do if they've listened to the show, like, what are you up to? Like, what show are you on, and what's this GankBush Squad we're talking about?
The GankBush Squad is Here's a Storm podcast where we try to dissect the meta at a bunch of different play levels from silver to master level. Not like looking at the pro meta so much, but kind of the pleb meta. So if you can say, but we just try to have fun, goof around, make a lot of wiener jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blast. I listen to it literally every week, and it's a great show to listen to. Trust me. I'd say we're probably closest with the hosts of GankBush Squad compared to any other podcasts and everything we listen to. You guys are a bunch of great guys, great entertainment. Check it out, GankBush Squad. You can find it all the places you can find other podcasts.
Well, in terms of the growth, right? We kind of grew together with each other, right?
B-list, baby. We started. We started as the scrubs, right, of the scene, and we're
like the
growing,
ugly generation in the Heroes of the Storm podcast.
The redheaded stepchildren, if you will.
Right.
Yes. But we've gotten past that awkward puberty phase, and we're blossoming right into our adulthood now.
Oh, you guys are. I don't know about the GankBush Squad.
You guys are gonna be stuck there forever with your dick jokes.
That's our charm.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so again, for those of you that don't know, this is the last episode that myself, Mystic, and LiQuiud will be doing as hosts. Goon is going to be taking over the hosting duties starting next week. It's going to be great. We talked about it before, but if there was anyone we wanted to take over the show, like when we started the conversation about myself, Mystic, and LiQuiud pulling back from doing the Nexus Trolls, we only had one person on our list that we'd even consider passing along to, and that was Goon. Luckily, he said, hey, yeah, I like this opportunity. I'm gonna run with it. So we're passing the torch off to him, and I personally think he's gonna take this show to places that the three of us never could. To not say, I mean, I've loved my time here and everything too. I think Goon's gonna give like a fresh new look to the show, but still maintain some of the stuff that everyone's known and loved. But enough gushy. Let's get into the show, shall we? But before we start, we always like to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/trollsgg. We had a couple new patrons over the past couple weeks that we didn't get to thank. Brad B and Stephen J, thanks for becoming patrons. It's very much appreciated. If you want to become patrons just like Brad and Stephen, you can head over to patreon.com/trollsgg and help fund our cause there. LiQuiud, I feel weird doing the next segment, so you want to do that one?
No, I'm doing it, man. I got this. All right, every week we have a Troll of the Week. I announced it last night on Troll and HCC, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I know Daz is on the show and he feels really weird about being
You
the troll of the week.
hijacked this choice because you do
I
trolling
did.
before us now, so I can't
did,
pick
and
them.
I jacked it. I was like, you can't change this. This is what we're doing. Without, so not to get gushy, but without Daz having decided with Shiz 79 episodes ago, we're doing a show, none of this stuff would exist. Troll and HCC wouldn't exist. Trolls.gg, the website with articles and like writers and like none of that exists without any of this. So
and none of it would have existed without everyone along the way as well, including
Yes.
LiQuiud, who's spearheaded a lot of this stuff. If it was just me, we'd still just be the Nexus Trolls sitting in a little corner of the internet, not LiQuiud trying to make a media empire out of Trolls GG too. So a lot of the growth is definitely attributed to LiQuiud, Mystic, and everyone else involved. We got great writers, great editors, great other people involved as well.
yes,
as part
no,
of the lore.
absolutely. Not to diminish anybody's achievements, but without Daz originally, this wouldn't exist.
The butterfly effect, I guess, is real there.
Yes.
The first step is always the hardest,
Right?
and I think
Didn't someone
Michael
make a song
Scott said
about
that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That does sound like a Michael Scott type thing. Yes.
Okay, guys, let's just jump into the news because we got a few things to talk about. And by the way, at the end of the show, we're going to do a bit of a flashback portion of the show to show some clips that were like kind of like a best of. That's what you do when you're going into retirement, right? You take the best of album, you stuff it at the end. So we're going to be doing that after the news.
Someday, this will make a great story.
Okay, so this first news item is one that Bacon is very familiar with. Bush League is still going on. Myself and LiQuiud, even though LiQuiud didn't play last week because of a migraine, we're 0-7. We're doing great, boys.
We are, man. We are crushing it.
We're holding out. We've got some plans in place for the past couple of weeks. We really want to get that one victory before we get into the playoffs. But we've said in the public Discord channel for Bush League, we're just feeling everybody out to the playoffs, and then we're just gonna come and peak at the right time because that's all we gotta do, right?
But how does it feel to be holders of the longest streak in Bush League?
It
That's a good
is.
point. We do have the longest streak.
Yeah,
It's a record. I'll take it. Why not? You know what?
I mean, not to be like the glass half empty kind of guy, but at least the glass is a tenth full, right?
Yeah.
It's 0 out of 7 full, but you know what? Our team morale is actually pretty good, and we're having fun, and that's the important part. That's what Bush League's all about too. So we've actually started talking, myself and Bacon and the other captains, about season 2. We don't know when it's going to start having official details or anything to release, but it's been a pretty big success, I'd say, from at least what we wanted to get out of it. I know Bacon's enjoyed it. Fringe, I feel like, is like a new man because of it in a lot of ways. So it's something that we definitely want to carry on going forward. So we're going to be starting a season 2 going forward. So keep posted to that. I'm sure Goon will talk about Nexus Trolls. The guys on the GankBush Squad will talk about it as it gets closer and as things are decided. But this playoffs are right around the corner too. We're going to be starting those in a couple weeks. So we've got 2 more weeks of season play, and then playoffs are going to be starting. So we got 3 weeks of playoffs.
And to defend your 0-7 record, that record betrays your actual performance in the games, because you guys, if you did a couple things differently, you guys could easily be 3-4-4-3 in this league.
And if a couple things were done differently, Simplicity could be going to mid-season brawl. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, a couple dozen of my deaths might have been avoidable.
I'm not talking about moving mountains. I'm like late game, late game, like one little shot call that ended up, someone dying, and then that kind of snowballed into the whole team wipe. Those kinds of stuff.
You're 100% right, dude. You're 100% right. Like, we literally, it's like you can always find that one. Man, if we hadn't done this here, we probably won that game.
Yeah.
But that's what all games are like too, right? You can look at maybe teams that are, dominating a scene or dominating HEC, and you can say, well, if they just made a couple more mistakes here and there, they could have wiped, they could have lost that game, they could be, further down the stands than they expect. HOTS is a game about finishing. It's not about how you play most of the game. I mean, a lot of it is. It's about how you finish that final team fight, right? A lot of it comes down to that. I mean, obviously there's a lot of the snowball effect too, and like how you play leading up to it, but a lot of it just does come down to that final moment, those decisions made at that time. So I want to move along to, I don't want to talk about Bush League for too long. We got Heroes of the Dorm just finished. You want to tell us about that, LiQuiuD?
Yeah, so here's the dorm did just finish. I'm gonna go over results first and then go over something else that also dropped today that was great to read. The Heroic Four started out with University of Kentucky versus University of Laval. Kentucky lost 0-3, as did my hopes of winning anything out of the dorm brackets or pick'em. That was kind of a bummer, but Laval was a great team. It's kind of sad for Kentucky. And then we have Buffalo against Cal Poly Pomona. That set, I didn't really watch a lot of the dorm because I was watching the Intercontinental Clash instead, but that was also a great set. I saw probably 2 or 3 of those games. Buffalo winning 3-2 over Cal Poly Pomona, setting up a grand final of University of Laval versus University of Buffalo. And I think Laval just ate their Wheaties because they 3-0'd Buffalo too, and it was insanely one-sided. Yeah, like Bacon said earlier, there were probably like 1 or 2 decisions that could have gone differently and changed things, but those were early game decisions that would have made a difference in those games. It was not a late game. One of them was, but for the most part, it wasn't like late game throws. So it was good dorm this season. Halloran and Gilly cast the finals, which was amazing, which led to Halloran sitting down and writing a reflection post. He did one last year. I think he posted on his blog site. This year he posted on the Heroes Hearth website, and there's a link to the Reddit post in chat, or I'm sorry, not in chat, in the show notes, or like you should be following him on Twitter. It's @_Halloran. He's a great dude, really great caster. He started with Chair League and has moved his way up to casting Heroes of the Dorm Grand Finals with GillyWeed. But read his post. It was well written. It was
honest,
I would say it was
too.
even better than last. Yeah. Well, and he did the same thing last year,
Mhm.
right? It was very similar last year, what he wrote, and this year it was just as amazing. So definitely check it out. I tweeted back to him and thanked him for his words, and also said, I'm looking forward to you finally casting HGC at some point.
Yeah.
So he's capable. I think he can do it. I think he should do it. It's just a question of whether he will get the call or not.
And he deserves it too. Like, he's one of the nicest
absolutely.
people I've ever met. I met him at BlizzCon in person last year. We had him on the show. I can't remember, like after he did Dorm last year. And he's just so nice, down to earth, and super incredibly honest too. He seems like a very genuine person. And he just kind of like, says what he feels. And he's such a nice person that it comes across like so great too. So I definitely hope he gets the tap for HGC because he deserves it. Like probably more than anyone I can think of who hasn't had a chance to.
And it's about time we brought some diversity into the casting lineup. A second bald person.
Not enough ball people.
You guys thought
Too
I was
much
going
hair.
somewhere else with that.
No, I knew better.
No,
I knew better.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
an amazing guy.
If he wasn't the casting lineup, he is so easy on the eyes and easy on the ears too. And
Listen to that, Bacon. Yeah, he is. He is both. And I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a top, even if it's just for like some of the pre-events that we heard about too that are going on, that went on sale. We'll talk about it in a little bit too. Like, what you want to tell us about the Intercontinental Clash, which you were watching instead of the Heroes of the Dorm? Why did they show them at the same time? Like, doesn't that seem kind of an odd thing?
Because Blizzard hates minor regions. Look, I love Blizzard. I really do, but they hate the minor regions. They really do.
yeah.
So, all right. Instead of watching Dorm, I was watching the Intercontinental Clash, and what that is the tournament that picks who's going to go from the minor region of Latin America and ANZ to Mid-Season Brawl. And so what we had a so ANZ actually does an HCC type season, where they had, I think it was 7 or 8 weeks of play. Then they had a playoff. The top 2 teams from that playoff flew to Brazil, and those 2 teams were Mind Freak and Crimson Gaming. Mind Freak is the remnants of why am I going blank on the Nomia, and they picked up 2 more players. And Crimson Gaming is just a new team to the scene, or a new team to this scene specifically. They played And Mind Freak won 4-3. It was actually a really, really tight set. It was amazing to watch. I was watching it in Spanish until somebody in Discord pointed out that the ANZ stream had English, which made my life easier after that. I felt dumb, but I watched it in English for the rest of the day, or that day and the next day. And then the Latin American final was Encore Esports versus FratRez. Encore Esports dominated FratRez in a 4-1, setting up what I thought was going to be a really competitive grand final between Mind Freak and Encore Esports. It was not as competitive. I mean, it kind of was, but it was mostly one-sided. Encore Esports won 4-1. There were some moments where FratRez looked like they were going to get back into it, and Mind Freak rather was like, nope, and just shut them down. So Mind Freak ends up getting the spot to go to mid-season brawl.
Will you ever see any of these minor regions actually like make a splash in international tournaments? Like,
so
actually...
last year, Nomia actually did okay-ish. I think that's what I want.
That doesn't sound very glowing.
At mid-season brawl. So no, they took games off. All right, hold on. Let me do a little quick scroll here. I will answer your question. I just need to remind myself of one thing before I do it.
Well, while you're figuring that out, oh damn, you're fast. Damn, you're fast.
I got you.
That 8 p.m. is off the hook.
I got you. All right, so here's the deal, right? If you look at the group that Mind Freak ends up in, they have Gen G Esports, which was KSV Black, but they renamed themselves. Tempo Storm, Fnatic, Ballistics, and the One. If you look at that group, Mind Freak takes the One. As much as I like Chinese team, Mind Freak beats the One. Straight up play, and might be able to surprise one of the other teams if Gen G underestimates them or Ballistics underestimates them. I don't think they can take a game or possibly Fnatic if Fnatic hasn't figured out their roster shit by then and like really solidified the team. Ooh. So I guarantee they don't take a game off tempo. They might take a map. They don't take the series.
6 months ago, you never would have been saying Fnatic might lose a game to a minor region.
It hurt me to say that just now, Daz. It really did. But I gotta be real. Fnatic has played like crap, and it shows. And so it's time for them to like figure out what's wrong and fix it. Whether it's roster issues, whether it's something else. And it's really weird. Like this roster apocalypse, now I'm tangenting because this played into something. In fact, I tweeted about it while we were on the show, just like a few minutes after we started. We talked about this last night on Troll and HEC. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. It's on Twitch right now. It'll be up on YouTube tomorrow. Roster apocalypse has been really quiet. We only know about 6 changes in NA. And those 6 are only the removals. Plus Equinox is now the coach of Simplicity. We know about 1 change in EU, and we know about 2 changes in Korea. It doesn't feel like the roster apocalypse has happened. So the suspicion that I have, and what I tweeted about a little while ago, because Patrick from Ballistics was complaining that this was like a really super quiet roster apocalypse, was I think we're going to see, if you guys remember, after phase 1 in 2017, Korea just came out like the day after the rosters were due and said, here are all the new rosters. And it had like 8 changes on them. And they were just like, these 2 players went here, this player went here, this player went here. And it was just like this thing, right? Where they were just like, boom, here's our rosters. There was none of this like doling out of information. It was just, bam, here's the rosters.
So it's like a Nexus Illuminati.
Yes,
with all the coaches.
I think we're getting the same thing right now out of all the teams, which would be kind of cool. Now, NA let 6 people go publicly, but EU with only Mopsio. My thought is Mopsio is not going to find a new place, and all the rest of the changes have been discussed amongst the team ownerships, whether it's coaches, managers, teams, like the whole thing, right? So you like, damn. I liken it to you get in a room, like this isn't how it went down, but think of it this way. You get all those people in a room and you say, okay, this is like literally how I think it went in Korea, probably not in EU, but all the team owners are in a room, all the team coaches and team managers, those 3 types of people all in a room, and they go on the whiteboard and they're like, we're willing to drop these 2 players, we're willing to drop, and everybody puts who they're dropping on the board. And then they all like start bargaining. I want that, right? And you work it all out, and by the time you're done, you're like, cool, we all have rosters, and you submit them. Well, and then you don't have to say anything until you just drop it. And if you look at the dates, player roster changes have to be to Blizzard on the 22nd. Blizzard then has the 23rd and the 24th to finally approve any of those rosters. I think the 23rd, 4th, and 5th are when we're going to start getting roster drops.
This happens in traditional sports too. Like I follow hockey, and you'll get it where like everyone's kind of like holding out on like this one guy, say like one free agent who's like maybe like a coveted one, to make the decision where he wants to go. And as soon as that happens, then like the domino starts to fall because everyone starts going for their second choice, third choice, and then everything just kind of falls into place, right? And, and maybe that's happening here too. You've got these available people, they're all discussing, trying to figure out where they want to go, and then bang, like you said, once they start to fall, they'll start falling fast.
Well, and that's what I suspect, right? I'm likening it to a more traditional sport at that point, which is, I think, where we are, where they're making all the deals and they're ready to just drop the information, right? Once Blizzard approves all the changes, it's just boom. So also, if you're curious about how GFE ended up the way it is, listen to Troll and HCC last night's episode. I actually found the reason in the rules and went through the whole thing. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'm not going to do that here because I could talk esports all night. That's why I have a show called Troll and HCC.
And that's why we have to cut you off here so we can move on to the next thing. That's why we create. That's why you create Troll and HCC, right? Because you're sick and tired of me moving a show along, being like, yeah, that's enough LiQuid. Okay, so next on the list, we're going to talk about...
Did you see that? Hold on.
Oh, no,
let me ask LiQuid that one.
Don't ask him a follow-up question.
I got to do it.
Don't do it.
So,
I'll be back in 20 minutes.
On Fnatic, did you see that? I think it was Bad Benny on Twitch.
Yeah, yes. And that's but nothing's been confirmed. So that's the problem. That's the problem, my friend.
Well, he put it out there that he's leaving, right?
Right, but nobody else has confirmed it, and so they're not considering it official yet.
Yeah.
So he's still listed on the Fnatic roster.
It kind of feels like Fnatic's kind of crash and burn.
That's why I said if they don't figure out the roster shit, that's the team that Mindfreak might take a set off.
Go figure, eh?
Okay.
Top of the world for a while and then just come crashing down 7 months later.
I mean, this will be Mindfreak's chance to be the first minor region team to actually not be expected to take a game, but to actually take a set.
Right.
It will be the first.
I think they can here. I think Mindfreak is the best chance. I think if you look at so this weekend we have the Horizon Clash, which will give you the Taiwanese Southeast Asian team. I think if you look at their group, they have Dig, CE, Tempest, Heroes Hearth, and Method. They don't get through. So Mindfreak is the only team with a chance right now to take a set in the group stage.
Okay,
from a minor region.
No more follow-up questions? We're good?
Perfect. Move on. Quick.
No. Okay, moving along. Calm Before the Storm. They're just...
It's amazing, by the way.
They're just shy of their final stretch goal.
Nope, second stretch goal, dude.
No, I think I put that in wrong. It's actually their final stretch goal. They're just $4,000 short. It was like
their second out of third.
No,
yeah, well, they're like a few $100s short of the third one, and then they're gonna get to the last one with.
Wait. No. This is your Canadian stuff. This is incorrect. Hold on.
Oh,
because I'm looking at it.
This is Canadian dollars. Oh my god.
They are.
You guys take the segment. You tell me what's going on.
They are $1,100 short of their second stretch goal, which gives them the second ballroom, which means they expand the art gallery. That's what we had last year. Okay, but in addition to that, last year they hit the third stretch goal, which is they're about 6K off of right now, which is where we had the fully equipped room on the 4th floor for us to do the podcast panel that Bacon and I were on. If they get to the final stretch goal, they'll have 2 of those rooms on the 4th floor, which is where they really want to go. So definitely give them your money if you can. Any bit helps. I pledged like immediately, whether I was going or not. I was like, these guys are amazing. I want them to be able to do an awesome show, and I pledged. Definitely pledge to them if you can. It's in the show notes, or just I think it's conbeforestorm.com, right?
Yep. Conbeforestorm.com without the
just for the people who haven't been to BlizzCon before, this is the best chance to hang out and meet your fellow community members, people you look up to in the podcast industry or the community, and all those people and the special guests. They're all there for you to hang out with them for like 6 hours. And
all the NA players. I got a t-shirt signed by every NA player there.
LiQuid looked like a kid in a candy shop.
I was a kid
chasing down HGC players.
Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. I
Yeah.
had so much fun that night.
That was awesome.
Once BlizzCon starts, it's so busy. It just the 2 days fly by so fast, and this is the best chance to actually hang out and meet your favorite guys. So yeah, definitely donate if you have the money.
Yeah, because during BlizzCon, there's events going on like nonstop. So you're watching esports, you're trying to do stuff. Whereas here, like you're not in like a very loud, crowded space where you can hang out and talk to people, have a few beers. It's a lot more casual. A great event. I'm glad they put that on.
Amazing.
If you're looking for BlizzCon,
all the casters were there too.
Yeah,
all the casters.
A lot of meetups and stuff too. So it's pretty cool. You meet up not only with the teams, the casters, but also like even just streamers, other personalities too in the scene. But if you're looking for BlizzCon tickets, they've sold out officially. They sold out pretty damn quick. If you weren't lucky enough to get them, though, you can. There's a Discord server, which I just hopping on to. It's the Looking for BlizzCon Tickets Discord server. We've got a link in the show notes. This is you're only allowed to buy and sell at face value here. There's no like scalping or anything like that.
Well, you're only allowed to that period anyway. Blizzard is all over that.
Yeah, either way, like that's what they promote here. Yeah. So it's not if you've got like 10 tickets to sell, you can't go there and like mark them up because there's a huge demand for them. Like you'll get reported or like booted pretty quickly. This is just like for people who bought extra tickets because they might have had friends that wanted to go, they bailed, or maybe their friends got tickets too, so they got extra ones. So that's where you can go to get them. Keep an eye out there. Most people I know, like if they need tickets and they're looking for them actively, will eventually find them. So head over there. Hopefully you'll find them. Blake Bacon, have you found tickets yet, bud?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Nope.
Oh.
Can we? So you have? Did you figure out what you were doing with yours, Daz?
What should we be talking about this live? Yeah, Mystic and Goon are taking.
I feel like we should,
but
because we got to guilt Mystic into going.
Well, Mystic's coming. We've earmarked a ticket for him, but we're hopeful. I mean, you know what, Bacon? I'm sure like eventually we'll find one for you somehow. Like someone will reach out to you who's got an extra ticket, or you'll find something through this Discord server too. But we want to make sure that the whole GankBush crew's going, and I'm sure that's definitely going to happen. But myself, Mystic, and LiQuiud are all going to be going.
And Goon.
And
I'm working on bags.
Yeah. So either way.
How many do you need, Bacon? That's the real question. How many are you guys short?
I think 4.
Okay. And I'm kicking myself because I forgot about Saturday until like 30 minutes later, and I was like, oh yeah, they're gone already. There's no, because I was gonna try and just buy 4 more on Saturday just so I could help people out with getting tickets. But then I forgot. Another
cool thing too is, and Bacon ticked me off about this, is you can actually buy tickets this year for the opening week events. So that's like the pre-BlizzCon events at the BlizzCon arena. So there's a lot of HOTS events, if you didn't know, that go on before the actual BlizzCon. I guess like, is it group stages kind of stuff?
Yeah, all the group stages happen.
So you can actually buy tickets to those now. October 25th to 28th is when the HGC stuff's happening. There's 4 days. It's $30 for a full day access. So you buy a ticket for the day, you go and you catch all the games that day. It's at their fancy new esports arena, which is pretty cool. It's in Los Angeles, not Anaheim, so it's a different location than the convention center. So just make a mental note of that. You can also buy an esports tour ticket for $50 to check out like the behind the scenes production stuff. So you can head over there. The link's in the show notes. You can also just look up BlizzCon opening week event stuff in Google. I'm sure it'll pop up. Okay, let's get into some meat, because we haven't talked about like what's actually been changing in the game recently too, because we had a PTR patch drop not too long ago with a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of it we're going to cover in the Trolling the Nexus segment, so I won't go into too many details. We got a NEXOMANIA event with Diablo and Lunara changes, and then just some of the other things.
Sonya looks sick.
Yeah, a lot of skins, a lot of cool things. Again, we'll be talking about that during the Trolling the Nexus bit. But a few little minor changes I'm going to note here in the news segment. You can't vote for yourself on the MVP screen anymore. So you have to vote for somebody else. So I don't know who I'm going to vote for anymore. So I'm always the MVP in my mind.
Now I'm not going to vote.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think's going to happen.
I'm just
People
kidding.
are just going to not vote and just bail.
Do you guys always try and... I always try and vote. Even if it's for the opposite team. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should give someone a vote to make them like...
What if it gave
better.
you 100 experience?
Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. Then everyone would try to vote for themselves, but you can't vote for yourself. So I feel like I feel like people should just vote anyway.
No incentive to vote.
That's enough incentive for me.
There's incentive. You're making other people like feel good because you gave them the little tap saying, you know what, bud, you did a good job.
You get the vote if you did good. If you didn't do good, I ain't giving you the vote.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have some high standards. If they did good, I'll give them the vote. But you know, it's like
Yeah, it's stingy.
13 kills, 0 deaths, 120,000 hero damage.
That
Fine,
dude's
you
getting
get a
a vote.
vote.
Fine, I'll wrench it
Fine.
from me. Okay. A couple other cool changes too. The southernmost merc camp on Infernal Shrines isn't going to go straight to attacking the structures, which always kind of annoyed me too. You'd capture it, and it'd be hard to clear it because it wouldn't go into lane and push in the lane, so you wouldn't get the minions attacking. It'd always come in from the bottom and just start attacking the tower. So this is a small change, but kind of like an important one to note too, and it might change how much value you get out of that bottom Infernal Shrines camp.
now they just
Because
gotta
it's
fix
like-
the one in the middle that attacks the healing well as soon as it
No,
gets
no,
captured.
it'll only attack the healing well if you give it vision, and I don't think they're going to change that because that's a strategic thing that you have to actually do. If you just take the camp and you leave, it won't do that. But
I feel
if
like
you
that's
like
exploiting
flashlight
a
it
bug.
off, no, it's how it's designed to work. So like if you Johanna flashlight enough so that you can, towards the healing well so they can target it, then they'll attack it. So I don't think that'll change. It'd be interesting to see if they did, but I support that one staying.
That
Because you have
one-
to do it's not
Oh.
like it natively does that. You have to do something to make that happen.
But no one knows
And
that.
don't you have to maintain vision the
Okay.
entire time too?
no, only once they start attacking it, their spears maintain vision.
Oh, really?
Once
I
they
didn't
start
Alright,
know
attacking
that.
But
healing
okay,
wells
the
gone.
problem I have with something like this is like I didn't know about this. I do a freaking podcast on that. Like,
But
I've seen
here's my
I've seen it
point.
tag before. I didn't know how to do that. So like most people won't know that. So the
But
few
that's
people
a
that
different
do,
issue.
but you should either make it very obvious somehow, and I don't know how you do that, or just make it act like every other merc camp and go into lane first.
No, that's a different issue. Now you're getting into Blizzard needs to teach people about the game. The
That's such
fact
a
that you
small
know
micro.
that
thing,
is
though.
not the merc camp's fault or people that do know that's fault. It's that it wasn't like I don't know. But that's not
But
no man.
Counter,
Don't punch
counterpoint.
the experimenters.
Counterpoint. That is a very unique merc camp in the entire
Yes.
game. Out of all the other merc camps, that southern merc camp on Infernal Shrines and the two on the left and right side near the mid lane, those are very odd in terms of their positioning. And not many other merc camps are kind of like that.
I think it's the closest to the gate of any merc camp.
My whole point is you've got I don't even know how many maps, a dozen maps ish in the game, right? And it's a lot easier, especially as a newer player, to come in knowing what to expect from everything. Once you learn how merc camps work, I feel like they should all work in generally the same way. Like maybe there's different like nuances to it.
does.
I don't know. Anyways,
They
let's
do. They work in the same way. It'll attack. Any merc camp will attack as soon as it has vision on the target that it's going towards. It just happens to be that one is close enough, well, to where they are that you can flashlight or whatever vision into the back.
fair enough.
So
so you,
I'm just
Malfurion-
saying, like,
yeah, I just disagree. That's all. Malfurion also got some changes too. You got a little leaf indicator on near the ally nameplate when you cast your regrowth on somebody, and it'll actually change color based on the time left of the regrowth. So it starts green, it goes to yellow when there's 10 seconds left, and red when there's 5 seconds left. Great quality of life improvement here. I think a lot of people were clamoring for this as soon as Malfurion's rework came about. I'm glad Blizzard finally got to it.
I completely missed this. They added a leaf to it?
They
An
did.
indicator?
They did. It changes color.
Sweet.
I think that's an elegant way of doing it too, because I was assuming they'd have like maybe like a little timer circle, but this is a lot easier because you'd be like, okay, that guy's red. You got to do him next because you got 5 seconds. The cooldown's 4 or 5 seconds or whatever it is on regrowth. So I think that makes sense. And I like that implementation a lot. So that's pretty cool.
Damn, that's awesome.
Maybe they wanted to wait until Malfurion came down in win rate before they added that. So they didn't want to bring him back up too much.
We have the
Can I-
technology.
Hey,
I
play one of the worst healers in the game now.
Yeah.
hold on, I want to go back for a second because Goon pointed out that they fixed the spears no longer give vision.
Oh, okay.
So does that change your opinion?
Well, that means that
'Cause if
Blizzard
I'm-
fixed the problem.
No, because if you're a Gul'dan, you sit there and you throw your wave of flame out, and that'll keep vision for them.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but that requires you to
You have to
actively
actively do
doing
something,
something there
right?
instead of just
that's more
So
fun
that-
out
then,
vision,
because
and
that's
then
like
the things take it. Yeah.
yeah, that's like a ridiculous amount of resources you have to spend just to like kill the stupid well,
Right.
right?
Is
I
it
think-
though? I would contend that that's worth, because you're taking the healing well, from potentially 2 shrines to make it so that there's not a, because that bottom shrine, the mid healing well, can also be used quite effectively, as well as the middle shrine,
mid
right?
well is pretty big.
Yeah, that, like, I would put forward that that's not a whole lot of resources to get that mid well out.
If it takes GOONHOTS throwing like a whole bunch of corruptions and
it's
fell
like
flames, you might as well just
it
you'll destroy it anyways, right? With
like
the-
anybody just throwing a couple of attacks over there plus the spears and you got it.
Okay, great strategic plan. I'll probably start doing that in every game I play now. So that was out. So okay, there was also Reddit AMA as well. We'll get a link for in the show notes for the Blizzard developers, which they've done. They did an AMA a couple weeks ago too, so they've been trying to open up to the community. They answered a whole bunch of questions. I definitely suggest you check that out. We're not going to go over all of them. We got a couple of the things we're going to talk about in the Trolling the Nexus segment, which also happens to be the segment that we're going to be doing now. So for those of you that don't know, and probably most of you do, because if you've been watching the show for any length of time, we've been doing this for the past 10 episodes or so. We've got 8 topics I think we're talking about this week, maybe 7. Here, let's just get these loaded up. There we go. We've got NEXOMANIA, that's the new event that's just been launched. Lord of Terror, so we're going to be talking about Diablo's rework on the PTR. Nature's Calling, which is Lunara's rework on the PTR, which I'm really excited about. Ranked play changes that were announced almost a week ago, but just after the show was done last time, so we didn't have a chance to talk about that. From the Reddit AMA, they confirmed that hero roles are going to be switched around a little bit, and they're going to add tags to heroes as well to more adequately define them outside of the warrior, specialist, assassin, healer thing that they currently have. And then we're also going to talk about something they also mentioned in the Reddit AMA, and that's the current state of Valeera. That was kind of fitting since that's LiQuid's waifu. So
wait, hold on. Why are you booing?
I don't know.
We'll find out when we talk about the segment. I'm excited. That means we've got stuff to talk about for that.
She's too effective in the right hands and annoying to play against.
Oh yes,
we've too weak.
We've talked about that so many times, and the only person who disagrees with that view is LiQuid. But we'll talk about that when we come to it. We're going to start with NEXOMANIA. So, Diablo, ETC, Garrosh, Lunara, Karazim, and Sonya all have themed skins. A lot of skins coming out in this event. There's also a Chihuahua and Pinata mounts too. You get to do these quests during the event. You have to choose a side. You can choose Sonya's side or Lunara's
Sonya for
side.
the win.
No, Lunara
Sonya
for sure.
for the win.
Lunara is the way to go.
Sonya.
Don't listen to LiQuid. He has no idea. He spends way too many resources on that mid-well. Don't listen to him. So you choose your quest chain. You get portraits and sprays based on like the character you choose. And at the end, no matter which side you take, you end up getting the El Guapo announcer, which is the one from the video, if you check that out. The NEXOMANIA event's going to have loot chests. So it's like themed loot chests, which will have NEXOMANIA event items, but also Suns Out, Guns Out items too. So they're bringing that back in. So lots of kind of cool stuff here. Bacon, what do you think about this event, bud?
No, I love it. It kind of feels bad because it is kind of the Suns Out, Guns Out event together. So I'm assuming they're not going to do the beach themed one like a month or 2 from now. But there's some skins that I'm missing from that event, so I'm definitely going to pick those up, and then I'm going to try to get every single item in the event. I usually do. I buy like 100 loot boxes, and then I buy every skin with gems as possible.
So how does it work? Do you know, like, are you usually you're guaranteed like one item from the event? Are they including like, will it be either a NEXOMANIA or a Suns Out, Guns Out item, or is it just like Suns Out, Guns Out stuff's available but not guaranteed at all? Do you know?
I think NEXOMANIA is Suns Out, Guns Out. It's in the same banner.
Okay, so
umbrella.
So you can get either, I guess, when you open it. I think
so. If you kind of go into the PTR and look at the collections tab, and then the portraits or things you buy, the little tag that the NEXOMANIA skins and portraits have, it says Suns Out, Guns Out on them. So it seems like they're just counting it as one event.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll find out as soon as that lands, but I think it's probably pretty good insight. I like the look at the chests too. Do you see those? They're like little like beer coolers. And LiQuid, you gotta love Sonya's crater too, right? Do you see what that happened?
So yes. So you wrote down it's a wrestling ring, but I'm pretty sure it's an MMA ring because it looks more octagonal than
it looks like an octagon.
Right.
Come on.
Which would be an MMA
wrestling ring.
God, you guys are like busting my nuts here over like a nuance, like
it's
wrestling
an important
versus
distinction, Daz.
Oh
like
God.
A wrestling ring is square,
you're missing the point. She jumps
That's
in
amazing,
and this
no matter
cruel
what, it's
ring
amazing.
pops out and you gotta fight in the ring, right? Like I was like, that's an amazing thing. And Garrosh has got a chair too, guys. Like how
Yes.
cool is
No,
that?
Garrosh with a chair.
Nice.
Like,
No,
I
no,
was watching
foldable
videos with
chair.
my wife, right?
It's
And so I'm
different.
like, this is amazing. Like you can Garrosh has a chair. Oh my god, Garrosh has a chair. I have been like hit or miss on getting events done, but I will 100% get this event done after picking the Sonya quest because Lunara sucks.
You know what would have been amazing is if they changed ETC's animation so when he did Mosh Pit, he like puts down a table and then slams everyone into the table and breaks the
That
table.
would have been pretty sweet.
Oh,
Yes.
damn.
That would have been awesome.
Opportunity missed, Blizzard. Oh, but yeah, even the Karazim skin looks pretty sick too with those like little boxer bit. I really thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
right.
They didn't really spotlight that very much in the videos. You had to like really squint hard.
No,
to know
but
it's
you had to like
Karazim,
really
though.
look at it hard though.
Yeah, but I'm
What they should do, 2 Karazims in quick match with an area crater, and then they go at it. 2 Karazims
would
go
be
at it inside the ring.
with Sonya spinning in the middle, right?
Right. That'd be sweet.
But no, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to NEXOMANIA. It's gonna be a good time. I do agree with Annalise. I wish they'd named it something that was more like lucha based, and not a playoff WrestleMania, since they're clearly targeting a very specific type of wrestling and not WWE. But it's all good.
But
all
they
good.
got the MMA creator, right? Like they're obviously mixing some stuff in here.
But no, they're mixing all sorts of stuff, which is the problem, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
It is
I
a
want
Nexus
things to be
oh.
correct in me is like twitching. So
So do you think we're
it's
getting?
all good though.
Do you think
Looks
we're
fun.
not going to get a summer event then? Bacon, this sounds like kind of what you're thinking, since they're merging this with the Suns Out Guns Out, that we might be missing out on another Suns Out Guns Out type thing, like summer themed event.
Yeah, unless I missed a post, I think this is it. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
so-
should be it. I like it. The dates. I think the dates lined up that this is the summer event.
Oh, so this is going on for a while then too. I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
the
it's like
dates.
a month or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe we'll be looking at one other event, probably prior to BlizzCon, like maybe like a late summer, fall, autumn event. Maybe like a Halloween event might be cool even too. It'd be nice
Yeah.
to like get something along those lines.
Oh, they always knock it out of the park for the Halloween skins and stuff. Yeah.
And we haven't really had
what-
like a big Halloween event, have we? Too, like a big like a Suns Out Guns Out or a Nexomania type thing. Am I
No,
crazy?
I don't think we have.
So there's an opportunity.
Just
there,
some
I guess.
skins.
Yeah, just the odd skin here and there. So be cool to get that.
What
But
about
Diablo
the best part
rework.
of the Nexomania? The Chihuahua mount.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm not that. I'm actually looking forward to the Pinata one more than the Chihuahua.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That Chihuahua's adorable. Oh, that little poster, I can stare at it all day. So cute.
I really want El Guapo.
Annalise is
done.
calling us all out for not remembering we had a big Halloween event last year.
Yeah,
So-
go
Look,
figure.
I'm all about what have you done for me lately, Blizzard. So
Yeah. Blizzard, us gamers, we have short memories. You got to keep stimulating us with the more
That is
stuff
true.
to remember it. So it's their fault,
I'm
not ours.
old. I'm just going with I'm old. So
Okay, next on the list, we've got Lord of Terror? Question mark. Because we don't know if he's still going to be the Lord of Terror. We got some Diablo changes in the PTR that just hits. We got the link to the notes in the patch, link to the notes, patch notes in the show notes. There we go. English is hard. So just a couple quick things about the basic changes here. I'm not going to go over the whole talent tree, but we're going to go over a build that Ishbu posted online that he thinks is a solid build. We're going to talk about that build, and we're going to maybe disagree, agree, do whatever. Just talk about it. Talk about maybe some alternative talent choices in different tiers. But he's had a pretty major rework. This isn't just like a small tweak. This is a major rework. So his whole kit is changing quite a bit. He gets 20% less health per soul that he stacks. Shadow Charge's range has been increased from 7 to 8.5 out of the box. But from the Shadows talent that increases the range has also been removed. So you can't get that crazy range you used to be able to get post level 4. Shadow Charge costs more mana. It does a lot less damage, though. 46% less damage out of the box. 20% less damage when you collide with someone on terrain. There's no armor bonus anymore when you're Shadow Charging in. But you do get 15% movement speed for 2 seconds.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, LiQuiud's pretty
You're not
excited.
escaping that flip. You're not escaping that flip.
Yes, which I guess makes the flip follow up easier, but I mean,
Right.
that 50% armor, or sorry, 20% armor was or whatever the armor was, 10% armor. I don't know. It was pretty useful. Fire Stomp. The fire waves don't just go around in a circle around you anymore. They go in a cone. There's only 4 or 5 waves instead of 8 that get out of your body and come back. But now multiple waves can hit one target, and you can actually do it so that if you time it properly or position yourself properly, all 5 can hit the same person on the way back. But hey, this sounds like it's OP, but it's not, because not only have they increased the cooldown from 6 to 8 seconds, but it's 78% less damage on the outgoing wave, 56% less damage on the returning wave. So seriously gimping the damage. The mana cost is reduced though because of the cooldown. I guess I don't know why they reduced the mana, but they did. And Diablo does though get 125% of the damage dealt to heroes back as a heal. So less damage, but more self-sustain out of a Fire Stomp.
Do you have my hat?
No, I don't.
Bummer. Okay.
You can just
Go ahead.
this. Put a little tinfoil hat.
No,
on it.
I'm not gonna do that. Go ahead.
Overpower is less mana than it used to be, but that's unchanged. And Lightning Breath may actually be viable now. Range has been increased from 10.5 to 12. And
Apparently, right?
I know. That's what Ishbu said too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They also added a slow to it, which I think a lot of people, even Mystic, was saying that they should have done this a long time ago.
Huge.
Yes.
Added a slow of 5% for 2 seconds, but that's per tick, so it can go up to 50% slow, and it ticks really fast. So it doesn't take long to get there. And I think
It's
one of the
4
the range
ticks a
increase.
second.
4 ticks, Jesus. So after a second, you can get up to 20% slow. A couple seconds, you're almost maxing out at 50.
Yeah.
2.5 seconds.
If you take level 20 upgrade too, I don't know if this 20 upgrade was the same as it was before, but 12 seconds of Lightning Breath. It goes on forever. Not that you'll get the full value out of it. Probably, I imagine you'll probably have to cancel it early. But imagine trying to get to Diablo when he's zoning like that. Anyhow, LiQuiud, do you want to go over Ishbu's build here? Talk about it a bit.
Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Make
Do
it
you
easy.
honestly read off of my screen? Anyways, go
I
ahead.
do. It's easier because then I'm looking at the camera and I'm interacting with the people in chat
Okay.
instead of doing this. But don't do that to me. All right. So here's Ishbu's build, and actually, there's only 1 or 2 little things that I question, and I'm really only going to go over one of those, and that's at level 1 he picks Devil's Duel, which gives you an increased effect on regen globes and healing fountains 2% per soul, which is amazing because when you're at 100 souls, a regen globe and you're healed back to full. So I love that by default. But if you're going into a big spell type match, oh man, I'm sorry, Bacon. I Daz will paste that for you though. If you're going into a spell match where having soul shield is helpful, having 50% of your souls as spell armor for 4 seconds is a pretty big deal, right? 25 plus 50%, you can basically be sitting at 75 spell armor for 4 seconds, pretty consistently. So if you're going into something where spell armor would be helpful, I think that's the only time at level 1 to take Soul Shield over Devil's Due. And I'm still not 100% sold on that. That's up in the air. I want to test it some more.
Devil's Due is so OP. The fact that it's so hard to heal Diablo, any healer, but then you just go get a couple of regen globes, or you tap a well, and you're back to full, makes it a lot more manageable, right?
Right, yeah. Souls to the Flame on level 4. Fire Stomp grants 1 soul every 3 times it damages 1 soul every 3 times it damages an enemy hero, and heals for an additional 1.25% of its damage dealt per soul. I like this. This is the Fire Stomp build. Level 7, Eternal Flames. When Diablo stuns an enemy hero with Shadow Charger overpower, reset the cooldown on Fire Stomp. Yeah, that's fun.
So, I got a question for you guys
Yep.
in general, because Fire Stomp seems to be completely changed the way you used it. The fact that it's so much less damage now, is that a big issue? I know you can use positioning to get a lot of them to get multiple hits on the same target, so maybe you can focus fire a little bit.
Yes.
But it just seems like it's gonna tickle, and that's what I'm kind of concerned about. I know you get a lot of health back from it potentially.
He's a sustain, so, and it also really matters. You don't just press it, but the way you
Yes.
press it and how you're gonna how the guy's gonna try to run away from you when you press it. So you can try to Q, W, and then E, W if you take the right talents with this build, right? And that way you body block yourself in between the returning waves and yourself to try to get most value out of it as possible.
So the big deal is it's not filler like it is now, right? If you think about the way Fire Stomp works now, it's just, I want to send at least one stream down into these minions and have it pull back, or I want to do damage in the middle of the group. Now it's like more, you have to be smart about how you use it and just stomp it, right? So yeah, it's going to, so the reason I was asking about my hat is I think the numbers are still too low. I think Diablo's numbers are going to get tuned up a little bit. It may take a couple of weeks, but I think they're going to come back and say, hey, we like the way the direction of the Lord of Terror is going, but his damage wasn't quite where we needed it to be, so we're going to bump those numbers just a little.
You always got to be
What do you think?
conservative.
What do you think, though? They might be a little bit careful about that because he already has a really high health pool. And then if you take Devil's Due at 1, he also has a good amount of regen out of combat or in combat too, if you're smart enough to get those globes or ally picks it up for you when you're near in combat. And he also has a good amount of sustain, it looks like, if you're able to get good clumps of enemy heroes with your Fire Wave Stomp return, and you get a lot of resets on your Fire Stomps.
Right.
And this is also, like, even if it's not a lot of healing, but if it's a good amount, and not a lot of tanks have a crap ton of healing that, you know, this Fire Stomp seems like an okay amount, but not like a crap ton. And not many heroes can actually do that besides, like, Blaze, and he's kind of unique in that department. And we're also not like accounting for our healer that's gonna heal Diablo.
Yeah, you always gotta be careful with these numbers that you get healing based on damage too. I feel like if you tweak them a little bit, you can go too far very quickly. I remember like they did that once with Kerrigan, and they had to tune her back quite quickly because, you know, she gets shields based on her damage done. So if you upgrade her damage, you're not only upgrading the damage she's doing, but you're also upgrading her survivability. So you gotta be a little careful in these cases, especially when you do get, like Bacon saying, like crazy amount of resets. Like you get resets if you take a level 7 Eternal Flames every time you flip a guy or charge him into a wall. So you can flip, charge, Fire Stomp. You spec into getting multiple charges.
You do it right? So you flip, you stomp, you charge, you stomp, and then you take 3 steps, and that's 2 waves of fire coming and hitting this dude with multiple.
And you can even spec into 3 charges of flip. So there's even more there too. So just flip, charge, stomp, wave, fire. You know, like everywhere, fire everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that was like one of the clips during the video showed him like with 3 waves of fire out at one time. It's difficult, but it can be done. So it'll be interesting. On level 10, Lightning Breath, I want to play with this some more. I actually like Lightning Breath, but I know it's not the accepted heroic, which is the only reason I don't really take it. So I'm looking forward to Lightning Breath again. Hellfire on 13. Each enemy hero hit by Fire Stomp grants 2% spell power for 10 seconds. Think about that for a minute.
Up to 30%.
Your next stomp, 30% more effective.
And 30% more healing, you double dip, right?
And, yep. So, yeah. 16, Debilitating Flames. Enemy heroes hit by Fire Stomp are slowed by 5% for 4 seconds. Up to 50%. Heroes slowed by 25% or more by Debilitating Flames deal 50% less damage. So, yeah. Fire Stomp away, man. Like, the whole idea of this is just Fire Stomp, like, debuff the hell out of people and buff yourself with your Fire Stomps.
That level 16 seems crazy to me. Like,
right?
you can, but if you tune this, like, don't forget, like, if you're getting these resets, you're throwing these out like crazy, you're slowing people up to 50% and reducing their damage by 50% too. That's like shrink rating everybody.
And you're buffing your damage and your heal coming in with that damage all at the same time. So come 16, you're like your waves of fire are like lava in Hawaii right
this
now.
Is Decker's like, Ancient Blessings all over again. This is a crazy talent. I think this one's pretty strong.
All right, so think about this combo. Let's say you go 8-bot combo with this build. So let's say Diablo's on the left and your target's on the right with a wall behind him, right? So you press fire stomp behind Diablo the opposite way. You Q, right? Pin him against the wall, and then you fire stomp opposite, and then you flip him and you fire stomp in his face. That way 3 waves are returning to him.
Right. And now he's
combo.
at the epicenter of all those waves coming in at once.
And APOC too.
And APOC. Like you're hosed, right? So there's definitely ways to like mess with people. I still and that's why I think there's a chance the damage will come up a little. Because it's 78% less on outgoing and 56% less on returning. I think what they'll see is that only at the highest level of play will people really be landing 3 or 4 onto a player at once. And so I think they'll tweak it up a little to make up for that. Because I think they tweaked it down a little too far. But then at level 20, Lord of Terror, which in addition to giving you the 10% maximum health of all nearby enemy heroes, you also gain 5 souls per hero hit. That's I died at level 20. I lost all my souls. I got like 15, 20, 30 back with my souls to the flame. And I see a team fight coming. I just run in and hit that, and boom, I just picked up 40 souls.
What's the cooldown on that?
I think it's 60, isn't it?
Yeah, 60 seconds.
60? Okay.
Or not 40, I'm sorry, but I picked up 20 souls. Now all of a sudden I'm a little bit more survivable. So
yeah.
I dig it.
Seems okay because oh, go ahead, Mystic. You have it.
I was just gonna say I was having a little fun with the lightning storm upgrade, and it was really funny because I was like, because it's so long, you could actually siege some forts with it just by sitting in the back and just throwing out lightning breath for 12 seconds.
Right.
I guess.
Hey, mid-well vision, 12 seconds. Just saying.
Oh, damn. Not surviving long enough for that, man.
The Nexus Trolls breaking the meta a little bit.
Right?
Beware next Bush League game. We're picking Diablo. Or I guess maybe. Oh, the PTR won't be for 2 weeks, so I guess.
No, it's next.
Well, it'll be next week, but it won't be until 2 weeks Bush League.
Yeah, the 20th, the game on the
20th.
20th. Which, by the way, so just to confirm, Bush League. So we're gonna have a game on Canadian holiday and a game on the U.S. holiday. That's what we're doing.
Oh shit! Are you serious?
Well, next week is what do you guys call it? Victoria Day?
Victoria Day. Yeah, that's fine.
And then the week after that is Memorial Day.
Oh. Well, Canadian made the schedule, I guess, so I didn't really figure that one out. But the thing about a long weekend on Monday, it's like Monday nights, so everyone's working the next day anyways. I think it'd be more of an issue if it was like a Friday night of a long weekend. So either way. Well, way to stall to run out the timer there.
Job's
LiQuiud.
done. I'll say something real quick.
Ahead.
Old Diablo's playstyle was very much at level 13, get the percentage upgrade on your Q to try to get a blow up APOC combo off on whoever you're diving. And I said this on the GankBush Squad. If your target doesn't die that you dive, usually you're dead because you can't escape. And it seems like with all these changes for him to self-sustain, even though he does less damage, he can still actually do a good amount of damage with this combo, APOC combo with the flame resets and all that jazz. And now it seems like he might have more survivability if the target doesn't die. I mean, which is great.
Playstyle's going to have to change a lot for Diablos, I think, here. Because, like you said, like you can't just do those dives, expect to get a ton of damage out. You're more of like a zoning type tank with the survivability now, right?
No, you can still do the dive and get the damage out, but it's a different way to get the damage out.
And body blocking is so much more important now because of the weights.
Right. He still pumps out the numbers, man. You just have to be smarter about how you do it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how people adapt to Diablo in the coming weeks. Next on the list, Nature's Calling. Lunara got some changes too in the PTR. We've got a build that I think it's similar to one that was appearing on Reddit. I don't remember who to give a tribute here for, but I just tweaked it slightly. But the main changes to Lunara, she doesn't have as many changes as say like Diablo did, but there are quite a few. She lost 12% damage on her trait, her poison. The wisps now cost no mana. They move 100% faster. The vision radius was slightly reduced, but when it's in a bush for 2 seconds, its vision radius increased by 75%. And there's a talent level 1, a wisp talent When it's in a bush for 5 seconds, the vision radius of the wisp is increased by 200% and reveals the surrounding area. That's like insane warding potential because it goes
does
over.
It have to?
It's got to be in a bush.
Does it have to be in the bush?
It does.
Okay.
It goes over terrain though, and it reveals.
Okay.
So it's a huge area. It's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest. Maybe like comparable like Tastar when you get the upgrade to Oracle.
It seems like Tassadar range. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just for like something that can sit in the bush. Like for I'm not sure what the timer is on her wisp, but you know you'll essentially have that up fairly often, so you can get that huge sight radius. I mean, obviously you can destroy it if you're in the enemy, but trying to find it might not necessarily be that easy. So it seems like through a lot of the talent changes they made here, they wanted to make not only her vision utility improved with the wisps, because that wisp kind of felt like not a useless talent, but not very potent. So they've changed that a bit, but also they did a lot of changes and tweaks to her poison damage talents, making what I think is making it more the poison more punishing and adding a lot of utility to her poisons as well. So I'm gonna go over my build. You guys feel free to jump in as we go through here. I love playing Lunara. So this is a poison build. AKA
The build's bad.
the Uther Killer.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he didn't post it on purpose. He's hiding it for the rest of us.
I'm trolling everybody here. So
No, you asked for feedback. I just gave you feedback without knowing what it is.
it's only good when you're playing against Uther. So I think this is like a killer for like just out sustaining like the healers like Uther that really can't pump out a lot of the heals or deal with the poison damage. Level 1, I really think this wisp talent, I think it's called Sentinel Wisp or something, is something you can't not take it. When it's in a bush for 5 seconds, evasion rate is increased by 200% and reveals the surrounding area. It just is so powerful. The only alternative I thought at that talent tier would be her reveal talent, which she's already got now, where if you have poison on someone, it reveals them during the duration of it, so you can see them if they're running off into bushes. But I feel like this wisp talent is just so powerful, you can't not go with that. Level 4, Nature's Calling has been moved from level 7 to level 4, which I think is great because this gives you more opportunity to use this in the laning phase and potentially get the merc camps before the first objective spawns or around when the first objective spawns. Nature's Calling is the talent that gives increased poison damage by 150% to non-heroes. It's not as strong as it was a year ago because they nerfed it a little bit, but it gives great wave clear building poke, especially like later in the game, and things like Immortal Burn. And you can spec now into getting a lot of extra damage on your poison, so this makes it even that much stronger to siege down a building. Level 7, I like Splintered Spear. Again, this is something she's already got, but now it doesn't compete with Nature's Calling, so it's even more powerful for like a wave clear scenario. Because after using Noxious Blossoms, her Q, you can hit up to 4 nearby enemies with your next basic attack, give them all poison damage. So getting that and Nature's Calling is a great potential for like just wiping out a wave super fast. Or even in like a team fight too, right? Like just spreading it to everybody, spreading your poison is what you want to do. Level 10, I was never a fan of Leaping Strike. I always like Thornwood Vines. It can access the backline. It can get your damage, your spread your poison damage out there. It can siege buildings really well, especially if you take Nature's Calling. It's just got a lot of reach potential, and I find my Leaping Strike just gets me in a bad positioning. I know someone like Bacon probably uses Leaping Strike and gets good value out of it, but not me. Are you guys Leaping Strike fans? I feel like Mystic and Bacon would probably both take Leaping Strike over this.
Yes. Why would you not?
Leaping Strike.
Leaping Strike
Depends
is
on the
amazing.
Yeah, it depends on the build, but if you want to focus somebody, it's pretty great.
I don't like to dive too much. I like to sustain damage. I think it's probably why I went this route. But like I said, the Leaping Strike I always found was troublesome, and then for me, getting me in bad positions. Whereas Thornwood Vines is on such a short cooldown, you can get a lot of damage out. It's basically like an extra basic ability. Level 13, the new talent that I like there is called Let Them Wither. This I think is huge. It changes. There's a change to this talent. It used to be something different, but now it actually increases the slow duration on crippling spores by 1 second, making it a 4-second slow instead of a 3-second slow, and it doesn't decay anymore. So it's 40 seconds slow for 4 seconds. You can potentially put that on the whole team if you've stacked your dots around. Tell me that's not a powerful talent, guys.
OP.
Thank you, Bacon. Thank you, Bacon. That's the kind of feedback I was looking
That's
for.
gonna get nerfed.
No way that makes it through. And if it makes it through, it's hot fixed. So here's the thing to consider. Everything they drop on Tuesday, they're going to watch very, very, very closely, right? Because if they have to hotfix it, they have to hotfix it right away because games start on the 9th for Midseason Brawl.
Do you think this patch is the one that goes to mid-season?
Yep.
You
It
think
wouldn't
so?
surprise me.
Okay, okay.
Wouldn't surprise. Teams are already complaining about performance of the PTR servers. Why
Really?
would teams be scrimming on PTR if this isn't the patch they're playing on?
I wish I might
They
tinfoil
really
hat.
think Lunara and Diablo might be that impactful, huh?
I mean, it's not just that though,
Well,
right?
they're
There's
trying it,
a
right?
couple of other changes. Yeah, I mean,
It's always tough to say until things actually go live, but I mean, pros are always going to experiment with the new changes to see if there's a place for them, to see if they can fit them into their strategies, right? Like it's
But-
all about
yes.
outthinking the
but-
team.
Teams going to mid-season brawl aren't going to be experimenting on PTR 3 weeks before mid-season brawl. They're going to be scrimming on what they're going to play on at mid-season brawl, so they're ready for mid-season brawl.
Dang.
In every other situation, mid-season brawl is coming up. That's a lot of money on the line. There's so Blizzard. I honestly, I think this is the patch they're playing on, and I think Blizzard will watch it really closely because if they need to hotfix, they got to do it right away.
I guess we'll find out soon. Level 16, unfair advantage, 60% more poison damage to slowed, as well as rooted or stunned heroes now. So
You know
again,
who that works with really, really well? Diablo's Fire Wave.
a lot of heroes, because so many heroes have like slows,
Yeah.
roots, stuns. Not to mention,
Day
like
one.
you've got yours out of your kit. You could slow the whole team for 4 seconds for 40%.
Day one.
60% more poison. Oh my gosh, Lunara is just gonna be a poison machine. I think
Day
Nazebo at
one
20 was bad.
guaranteed. Here you go. Day one guaranteed. Team League with 2 people, just roll in Diablo Lunara. You'll dumpster everybody because half the people won't even know the changes to Diablo.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if
On the 22nd, if you're listening to this show on the 22nd, roll into Team League with a buddy, Diablo Lunara, you'll just dumpster everybody you face.
I can see
As
a lot of
counter
these.
to that, if you're playing against Lunara and Diablo, just burst them down.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're not and you're rolling with them, just dumpster them.
I can see Lunara being strong in like our type league plays, but I can see this not being as effective in HGC because HGC isn't about like, ooh, spread all your poison damage and try and like
Right.
sustain the healer. It's about, picking your spots and focusing damage and being strategic that way.
We already see Lunara played in HGC and played effectively. It's not like she's bad in HGC.
All right.
And these changes make her stronger.
Well, hell, what do I know? No one should listen to me, right?
No, definitely. I'm not saying you're wrong, right? I understand. Like there are some things where it won't be as effective, right? Because it's going to be harder to get the poison damage on everybody.
Oh.
But she's already used pretty effectively on certain comps. So.
Yeah, that was just me conceding the fact that I don't watch enough HGC. I should have known that.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't want you to I mean, you're right? Like some things that work against people in our leagues will not
Yeah.
work against HGC teams, but she still
For
sees
sure.
play.
I'm impressed,
Yeah.
and hopefully, I'd like to see her played still in HGC after these changes. So we'll see how these kind of permeate through. Level 20, she got new interesting. I always thought her level 20 was a little bit lackluster, so it's nice to
Yeah.
see some changes here. Intensifying Toxin, which is kind of like Viral Infection a little bit. After having 3 stacks on any target, you get 40% more poison damage. So this works on all targets, including buildings as well. So, like, just to recap, not only can you get like all your poison out there and slow everyone for 40%, which also gives you 6% more poison damage because of unfair advantage at 16, but you also get another 40% damage because of your level 20 too. This is like uncontrollable poison here. It's gonna be really tough to like heal through that, or I think deal with that if you've got like a single target like kind of healer with low healing output.
This is like
Right.
Nazebo,
Yeah.
like old Nazebo levels of damage.
Yeah.
There's a question I have about this talent actually. So I was playing around with Lunara, and like she seems to have a new indicator for her poison. It's like it shows the 3 poison marks, but then after 3 seconds, one of the poison marks falls off to show that hey, you only have like 6 seconds left of this poison. So the after 3 stacks, is it they have to have 3 marks on it, or is it they've gotten 3 marks before? And until they hit 0 marks, it's 40% more damage.
I would have assumed it's while they have 3 stacks, but I mean, I guess I could be
Yeah.
wrong. That's the way I'd assume it'd work.
No, it seems like the 3 ticks only. right?
It'd be pretty OP if it's just like, okay, now it's just 40%
It
damage.
is a level
until-
20. I mean,
That's true, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be difficult to deal with the
That's a little nuts if it's you hit 3 stacks and then you get 9 seconds of 40% more damage. That seems like a lot.
Not only that, but it's easier to like extend that because you can just hit him once instead of having hit him another 2 times once you get down to 1 stack, right? So you just kind of keep it going. So yeah, there's no way.
They love the little prancing, whatever, pony.
What?
Dryad.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Pony.
They hate Valeera, but they love the little prancing Dryad.
If Lunara was
Pony
here,
girl.
she may take offense to that.
She probably would.
Yeah.
Hell, I know there are people on Twitter that do take offense to the fact that I just called her a prancing pony.
She seems amazing. She just seems like a straight up buff. The level
Job's done.
300 Lunara Grandmaster main, Beg for Mercy, really seems to dig her. And if he digs her, and he has her at level 300 plus, hey, I'm gonna give her a shot. I'm gonna trust his judgment.
That's someone you listen to.
She actually has a level 4 talent now instead of having her crappy little 3 wisp talents.
Oh, God.
So
That had to be done away with. Okay, we also had some changes to ranked play for Season 3 that were announced. So Season 3 is going to start a little bit later than expected. So Season 2 has actually been extended until the week of July the 9th. They said they needed some extra dev time to get these changes in there. So there's going to be a third ban during the initial phase. What? It was supposed to be mid-phase, guys. What's going on here?
Nah, that was the best place to put it. It really was the best place to put it. Because you knock out 2 bans in the beginning each. You go ban, 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 ban. Then you change the least amount of what you're doing if you do it that way.
yep.
The reason
And you can also ban the meta, ban OP heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
that's why I don't like it. So now the first 4 bans are likely, I mean, unless you've got specific map bans, are probably going to be pretty similar. It's going to be like, okay, you know, you ban, like if it was today, your Diablo, Garrosh, Phoenix, Maiev or something, right? Whatever the 4 hot heroes are. So no one will ever be able to play the top 4 heroes instead of just the top 2. It's like, great. I'd rather have it where you can let some of those through, and then you can have the mid ban be more situational bans, right? Be like, okay, they picked the Genji, or we picked the Genji, now we can ban Varian and Uther, right? You can do stuff like that to more adapt to what the draft's actually happening, as opposed to like just having blanket bans at the front. That's why I don't like it personally, but I don't know, I'm sure other people
I have a solution. Double the hero release schedule.
wait, then we'd be back to the old schedule, right?
Right?
So
And it feels like one hero is being banned.
Schizo, the way it was originally described is it's supposed to be blue team ban 1, red team ban 1, blue team ban 2, red team ban 2, and alternate.
They're
go
gonna
back and forth.
they're gonna add a whole nother minute for those
Right.
bans. Do you damn, back and forth twice? Don't you think it's gonna be 1-2 and 1-2?
You can't do if you do 1-2 and 1-2. It's no.
Or 1
1-2,
and
1.
2 and then 1? 1-2-1?
I guess it could go 1-1-2-1, but I think it's gonna go 1-2-1-2.
What? No, they're just gonna
Wait, I'm sorry.
just
1,
1-2-1.
It's gonna
1-1.
go 1-1-2-2. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
almost. I would bet it went that way, but I think 1-1-2-1. Or I'm sorry, 1-1-2-2 makes the most sense. Because that would be quick.
there's only like 2 bans a side, right? You're saying what you were saying, like 1 ban from the first side, 2 bans for the second side, then 1 ban back for the original
Yes.
side.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
your numbering system confuses me. A lot of
Well,
ones
that's
and
why I
twos.
like saying.
I'm like adding them up.
so-
I'm like
no,
1, 1,
blue
2,
one-
2, 1. I'm like, that's
so,
like how
so
many
the way it
bans?
would go would be like blue 1, red 2, blue 2.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. I like the snake kind of thing. Like the first team that gets the ban, the second team would get 2 bans, and the third team would get, or so the original team
Right.
would get their second one. So there's less phases, but yeah.
I don't think we'll see red, blue though. I think it'll either be red, blue,
red.
or it'll be red, blue, red.
Red, blue, red.
Right.
That's what I think should happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we also had MMR and rank point decay detailed a little bit more. We knew it was coming, but you're going to get a small amount of decay after you've been inactive for a while. This is for both MMR and your ranked points. It'll accumulate daily, so this is going to be like just every day that you're past the inactivity threshold, you'll keep getting dinged. If you've been playing regularly, though, so if you've been playing a lot of games in that season, you'll get a grace period to extend that original penalty days by 10. So, for example, if you're in Diamond, and this depends on the league that you're in too. It's only for Diamond Masters and GMs. If you're in Diamond, after 20 days, you'll get Decay. Unless you've been playing a lot, then it'll be 30 days. Masters will decay after 15 days. Unless you've been playing a lot, then it's 25 days. And GMs will decay after 10 days. Unless you've been playing a lot, it'll be 20 days. So, Bacon is the only person of us who's ever been anything above Diamond, so he's probably got more to say about this than the rest of us. What do you think about MMR and rank decay? Is this a good thing?
Well, if somebody on this podcast met my challenge, we maybe have 2 qualified people to talk about it, huh? No, I know you're busy, Mystic. I know you're very busy. Actually having a life and stuff, unlike me.
It's quite the grind.
Yeah. It's for me, like, yeah, maybe I think this will actually push me to kind of grind a little bit. But then again, there might be those people like, okay, I'll play 1 game every 10 days and just to maintain my ranking. There will be those guys, right? Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of those guys. Guaranteed. I'm going to be one of them for sure. Like, I don't usually play a ton of Hero League, so I'm going to make sure that I don't decay by going in like, once or twice a month to at least play a game or two. Is that going to be a problem? Yeah. Am I going to be someone you get pissed at in game, Bacon, because I'm doing that kind of thing?
Maybe because grinding high level Hero League is kind of like a different play style on its own than like playing with unranked and with friends and stuff. So maybe you might throw a couple games for your Hero League teammates, or maybe not, just depending on how fresh you are. But I hope it motivates more people to actually grind Hero League games, just like I hope I will be motivated when it actually comes out, so I don't lose my ranking. Now we don't know how much it's going to decay and at what rate and how many games you need to actually play to maintain grace periods and all that, but hopefully they do release those numbers soon. Or they might not even release them at all, because sometimes like we still don't know what MMR is. But yeah,
I just
finally
want performance-based matchmaking back. That's all I want.
Yeah, they talked about bringing that. I'm surprised they didn't announce it here. Maybe it's just not quite ready yet for season 3.
No, they said it was ready.
Thing...
That's the killer. Like, they're like, oh yeah, there's not. We just need to tweak it a little, and that was 6 months ago.
A little can be deceptive. They watch their wording.
No, because if you go back and you read the old comments, they said the issues we had with Hero League were not because of PBMM, but we disabled that because of the perception that was the problem.
It was the seeding issue.
But now they said when they reintroduce it, it's not going to count for Masters and up. Or was it Diamond and up?
I think it was Master and up.
I think it was Masters. Okay. Yeah, sure. So the first time you place, you can no longer place higher than Gold 5. So if you're on that Smurf account and you're a really good player, you're going to be capped.
No, different. No, that's a little different. If you're a first-time account placing, your quick match and unranked MMR can't seed you higher than Gold 5. So the highest you can start in MMR is Gold 5 when you go into your first Hero League match. And then if you keep winning and winning and winning, you could only place up to Plat 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just your initial
If you're on a brand new account and you go 10-0, you can hit Plat 5.
Okay. I thought Gold 5 was the top. And I was going to say that was kind of low. Plat
Gold 5 is the starting MMR.
Okay. So you'd start there, but then you can still do well.
That's the highest starting MMR you can get.
Gotcha. So after missing a season, you can't pull a Daz and try and reseed your ranking based on other game modes. I did try this for I sat out a season, went back into Hero League, and went about 5-5. My placements ended up seeding right back where I started, so it wasn't a big deal. But a lot of people did do something like that. They took a season off to try and adjust their MMR if they played Hero League and got a bad seeding because they started playing Hero League when they first started playing the game, but they know they're a lot better. So you can't do that anymore. They're also hardening the matchmaking rules. They're going to make it, which is going to mean longer queue times, but hopefully higher quality and balance in the games. So you won't find these, well, I mean, maybe you still will, but it'll be a bit harder to find these games where you've got Grandmasters playing with Plat players, say in like a Hero League environment. Okay, so moving along, we've got hero roles, and tags. So there was a Reddit AMA that we mentioned earlier in the show, and there was quite a bit that was released in this AMA or talked about, but we're only going to talk about a couple of them here. One of which is hero roles and tags. So there's a new role system that's incoming, and this has been confirmed by Blizzard, and it sounds like it's coming soon. They said by the end of the year, but it has the feeling that it's going to be coming soon. So they're going to be changing our whole, warriors, supports, assassin roles to have some more roles to be able to fine tune those and more accurately identify what's what. Well, they said for sure they're having tanks, bruisers, melee assassins, supports, and healers. Supports and healers are two different things in that case, like Tassar and Tyrande say being a support, and like an Uther would be a healer. So there's obviously, they didn't say anything about specialists. I'm assuming they're gonna have specialists. Maybe they're gonna have more roles. They haven't specifically said if that's like the firm list they're gonna end up with.
Well, the role could stay specialist, and then they could get a tag instead, right?
Well, there's also the tag system. That's different. There's the roles and there's the
Right.
tags. The tags, they said they've got 15 major tags that they're working on. So you can have a role, but you can also have tags, which kind of like are a bit of like a descriptive bit, which would help you know what that hero is used for. The examples they gave of the tags that they're working on is wave clear. So you make a tag as a wave clear if you're like a Kael'thas or whatever. Burst damage, CC, it could be another tag, etc. They're going to have a whole bunch of them to help flesh out exactly what a hero's definition would be, helping out those newer players that may not know what kind of roles they need to fill out. What do you guys?
Do they have toxic split pusher as a tag?
That's your
Like Murky and Protheus.
Yeah, I thought specialist was that tag.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, annoying fish.
There's good specialists out there.
Yeah, I'll
Just
be
not
interested.
those.
I hope they have a couple trolley tags. It'd be kind of funny to put in there. What do you guys think about this new role system, though? Do you think it's long overdue? I mean, other games have it. What do you think?
I
Mystic?
think the biggest thing, honestly, is that they're gonna differentiate supports and healers. So, like supports being Tyrande, Tassadar, and then the healers being the people that can actually heal like a lot. So the tags, like, while I think it's great for people that are just getting into the game, I don't think they're gonna change that much. Like you said, they're just gonna have like Kael'thas with the wave clear tag, but that doesn't really like change much unless they introduce like more quests that are like play so and so heroes with so and so tags, and then it would be a little more impactful.
Oh god, I've got nightmares of Hearthstone quests.
It could be really good because obviously it's not not going to be a perfect tag system where it completely informs what the hero actually does, but it could be a good start. Like even looking at tanks, there's displacement tanks like Tyrael, there's anti-burst, there's hard CC like Muradin with his stun. So there's like just in the tank tree alone, there's so many different kinds, and you can do that with assassins, like you said, burst and sustain, and self-healing or self-sustain, and it might be really good to just inform new players like, hey, maybe I'm into this kind of style.
Right.
So
right.
This hero is these 3 tags, and if I look up those 3 tags, and then there's another list of the heroes that contains those 3 tags, maybe I could build like a little roster out of it.
Yeah, this isn't targeted at people that have been playing the game for years like us, because we know what most heroes do and how they perform. This is purely for players that are new to the game, or with so many heroes like can you imagine coming into the game now seeing like 70 plus heroes, whatever we're at now, and having to start from that point? That would be so overwhelming. So this is just a little way to like help figure it out, and maybe it'll make it easier too for those newer players. Like once you're in the draft or something, maybe there'll even be tags there so you can be like, okay, they picked ETC, he's like CC tank or whatever, right? And they'll put that in there so it makes it a little bit easier.
So they'll understand better like
what's
what
going
he is,
on.
yeah.
Like be like, who's the CTC guy? And also
let's be honest, if you don't know who ETC is, you probably shouldn't be in a draft mode.
LiQuid just
throwing that out there.
said that.
Yeah, I agree.
We only have a few more seconds on this topic, but still I wanted to bring it up. They did talk about Tyrande. specifically about potentially changing her going forward. They talked about how they're looking at making her potentially experimenting as a solo healer build, but they were worried it was going to take too much away from her, like poking damage with owls. So they've been looking into ways to change Tyrande, which makes me think that, okay, a Tyrande rework is likely in the cards, because I think it might have been on Trolling HGC. Didn't one of the guys say that Tyrande isn't very viable in HGC because she's such a kill target?
J-How wanted J-How was in chat and was trying to get somebody to agree that Tyrande was worthwhile. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, because I think the whole
Hero or Kubi.
The whole problem with her,
Hero or Kubi, I think,
in his mind was that, okay, like you can't really get out of there. Like if someone dives her, she's in trouble. So which makes her less viable in like an HGC type format. So they're looking at changing her for probably that reason, but also just amongst others. But they've been investigating like complete reworks, completely like royal changing her here too to make her a full solo healer. That'd be kind of crazy. It'll be interesting to see exactly how they take that, but they didn't really reveal exactly what they're thinking. Just some of their like process going through the changes. And they also said that they don't want to change Tastar was part of it. At least they're not actively working on him, but they talked a lot about Tyrande, which makes you think, okay, we are actively working on Tyrande. Okay, so LiQuiud.
Oh, can I mention one thing?
Of course you can. You're the guest. You can do whatever you want.
Sure. All right, hold on. Let me take off my. Okay, never mind.
It's not that kind of show.
Get this Twitch banned. No. There was, recently a lot of the Overwatch heroes, the community has been complaining that there's a lot of a problem with mobility creep. And the Blizzard has said, yeah, we know it's a problem. A lot of the new heroes like Phoenix and Hanzo, Genji for a long time now, we've had an issue with them being too mobile. Now they've acknowledged that issue. They've been taking steps recently to fix it, which is awesome because Hanzo was nerfed recently, Genji was nerfed recently, Tracer was nerfed recently.
Yeah.
So it seems great that they're actively working to fix that issue, and they're also starting to work on range, because they recently nerfed Hanzo's auto attack range, which was ridiculously long for no reason. And now they said they're kind of looking at how to change Chromie around so she's a lot less toxic to play against, because she's, shoots her spells half a screen away.
The turret in the back, right? Yeah.
Right. This nerf to range has been like a shadow buff, I think, to Chromie, because now it's a lot harder to access her in the back line. No, I'm serious though. Like one of the ways you can counter a Chromie is by being able to access the backline through a dive type comp. And now that you're taking out some of those options, like your Genjis and your Hanzos or your Tracers to harass the Chromie in the backline, that is a stealth nerf. Like I sort of stealth buff. Like nerfing Hanzo is a buff to Valeera too, right? Because a lot of people always say that you take Hanzo instead of Valeera now, since Hanzo came out, Valeera's become kind of irrelevant.
Right.
So same kind of thing. But let's talk about another. I feel like it's kind of like a footnote in the AMA, but I chose it as something to talk about because of LiQuiud's passion for the rogue that is Valeera, which is well documented. So they said Valeera is in a better state than when released, but they do acknowledge there's some room for improvement. They commented on the fact that they don't like how her talent tree will make you invest power into specific openers, which end up limiting your choice of openers. Because if you put a lot of power into, say, like one of your 3 openers, you're going to feel like you've got to go for that opener because you've invested into it. It's more powerful than the other ones. So it pigeonholes as the game progresses instead of expanding your options, or at least keeping your options consistent. And they also said that they want to focus on her, I guess, Warcrafty rogue lore and being able to disable heroes, but they don't want to make her toxic by also being able to do a lot of damage and just being able to like eliminate heroes. Completely different. So LiQuiud, this is your baby, bud. Talk to me.
I'm really torn right now because I got Valeera on one hand and I got you all about to make an announcement. All right, thanks, man. All right, so look, I get Blizzard wants to change her, and I get that people didn't like playing against her, So like,
Careful what you say. You're about to
right?
alienate 99% of the community.
No, I get it. I'm a rogue though. I'm a rogue, and her initial style was roguelike, right? Um, and now it's not. So, I don't know. Like I struggle with.
You're heartbroken. We can tell here.
I am, and I'm very torn because something I've been following really closely is now breaking.
Wow.
Valeera. Oh my God! You'd all
Multitask.
GFE
Do
drama.
it. Hurry up. Multitask.
Focus on Valeera. You can check that stuff out later. Well, you can break the news after this topic. How about that?
So I don't like. I don't know. I understand what Blizzard's saying, but at the same time, I'm like, she's a rogue. Let her just play like a rogue, man. Is that too much to ask?
Isn't that what they said that they did though? Like they're happy with
they did
disabling?
in the beginning, and then they didn't.
So what should they do? What should they do? LiQuid? How would they fix
She was a rogue in the beginning, but people were like, "Wah, stun lock," and that's what people were like in WoW too, man. When you're a rogue and you stun lock someone, it's "Wah, stun lock, a rogue got me, killed me, wah." Like, dude, it's a rogue. Like, get over it. Like, that's the way it plays, man.
Okay,
that's how it
I'm
works.
forwarding you all the emails that we get this week about the hate.
Right ahead. So, I mean, like, I get it. I understand that Blizzard wants to make the game fun for everybody. But, yes, gank life. That's what rogues do. The idea behind a rogue is to sneak through the shadows, come up behind you, and bam, you're dead. It's how it works.
Like, ever since
sorry.
I don't think Valeera's in like that bad of a spot. I mean, I guess you don't see her played.
No, she's in an okay-ish spot. I don't think she's in a good spot. I think she's in an okay-ish spot.
No, I mean, I guess generally when I see her picked in my games, I cringe if she's picked on my team. So I'm like, oh, great. Like, I don't really want to have Valeera on my team. It's like seeing a Nova first pick or something, right? Like, it just doesn't feel good. But still, like, I don't know, Bacon. What do you think? Do you like Valeera? Do you ever play Valeera? Like, I try and stay away from her.
Oh, sorry, you just caught me reading the article.
You guys, Mystic. Okay, I'm talking to you, bud. You're the only one paying attention. It's not like this is an important last show.
No, what? He's the sole owner? What the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Okay, we're changing this topic. So what are you guys talking about? What are you looking at here?
All right.
I'm stopping the timer. I'm changing the topic to.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. All right. So GFE as an organization has basically imploded. So as of
it's not imploded. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right, because it imploded. The dude had no money. $0. Dude had no money. GFE's gone. Okay. And so all this shit came out over the last 2 weeks about how Octaface and Fury were going to own the spot, but then it wasn't Octaface and Fury, but nobody knew who owned the spot. So we talked about it last night on Troll and HGC, and we were trying to debate who actually owned the spot and why. Because the way it was supposed to work, I had the rules up last night, and if you go to the HGC website, you can download the rules and you can look at them yourself if you're a nerd like me. If you're not, I'll break it down for you right now. I'm just pulling it up so I can scroll down to section 4.3 because that is the rule that deals with team ownership being replaced. And in a case where the team owner needs to be replaced for whatever reason, Blizzard will work with the team to appoint a new interim owner until a permanent owner can be picked. Okay? So we were under the impression that what had happened is Blizzard went back to the team and said, you guys vote, single team owner. We need an interim team owner vote, okay? And what was mentioned in chat, I think maybe, I don't remember who mentioned it last night, but somebody in chat mentioned that it was probably like a corporation like Team 12 had done. Well, Michael, you'd all broke the news tonight, just now. He literally just tweeted it, just pasted it into his stream's chat. He is the sole owner of the GFE spot. Blizzard said the only fair way to figure out who owns the spot was for the 5 players to vote. 5 players voted. Michael Udall owns the GFE.
Apparently, no, it was not. It was the GFE owner's choice to give it to Blizzard, who then decided that it was
Now
the fair way to do it was vote.
I'm gonna
Apparently,
tinfoil hat
according
for
to
a minute
Udall.
here. I'm tinfoiling hat for this part. If Ryan doesn't say that, I'm not sure I believe that. I think that specific piece is an optics thing that Udall is trying to stick with. I think
Well,
it's
just based on the grammar alone, it's optics-wise, it's so much better than what.
Oh no, 100%.
Job's
This
done.
is way better than the twit longers we got out of Fury and Akaface.
Aka.
100%, right?
Yeah.
But like nobody's ever accused Michael Udall of not being smart at the game. I mean, come on. He's the freaking face of HGC for 2 years. The dude knows what he's doing, right? We may not agree with it, but he knows what he's doing. So, but my point is, I think the story about how he ended up as the sole owner is kind of somewhere in between. I think Ryan was probably going to give the spot to Aka and Fury. Then I think Blizzard got involved because Rule 4.3a says Blizzard needs to be involved, and the vote went Udall's way, and here we are, right? There's definitely, like, the rest of his post is correct. We don't know all the stuff going on behind. We don't know the team dynamics. We don't know, what the practice schedule's like. Like, there's so much stuff we don't know. But, like, 100%, I did not expect him to come out and say, I own the spot 100%. And he does.
So, if he wanted to, he could remove everybody on the team, right?
Not only that, he could retire and say, I still own the spot. I'm bringing 5 new players in. He doesn't have to stay on the team either because he owns the actual spot. Just like LFM could be like, we're cutting all 5 of you and we're going to replace all 5 of you. Sorry, Hero, I know that's not happening. I just saw you in chat and it made me think of LFM. My apologies. LFM is staying with the 3 members they kept, only traded in special tier off the team. Anyway.
The only way...
I mean,
the only way to derail LiQuiD off of Valeera talk is by getting Michael Udall involved.
No, any big drop, like it could have been Fnatic announcing a roster. The same thing would have happened, man. Same thing would have happened.
That's crazy news.
Save the segment. Valeera owns the HGC spot now.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Have LiQuiD go back on it.
I'm sorry, man. I just like.
No, it wouldn't
I've been
be.
waiting to. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a final episode if we didn't have LiQuiD usurping some sort of HGC commentary
right?
into a spot where it was definitely not supposed to be esport focused. Okay, we're gonna go into the last portion of the show, which is our flashback portion of the episode. So we're gonna take a stroll down memory lane.
I like
We'll take a troll down memory lane. Why didn't I call it that? I should have called the show that.
No, dude.
A stroll.
We're taking a troll down
Troll
memory
stroll.
lane. Anyways, we've got a bunch of clips here that we're gonna show, just kind of remembering things and reflecting on our time here on the Nexus Trolls. Who knows how long this is gonna take, and we don't care. We're phoning it in for the final episode, right? So it's flashback time, guys. Starting with the first clip that we're gonna show. I'm gonna kind of intro it a little bit, and then maybe we'll show it and get Mystic to chime in here. This is episode 1. The first words that we would have said officially on stream. I guess we had episode 0, but it didn't really technically go very well. Didn't even have like a physical copy of that to show anybody. Probably a good thing. But this is episode 1. It was myself and Shiz were the only 2 official hosts at the time, and Mystic was our special guest. It turns out he stuck. So here is part of episode 1, guys.
So hello and welcome to the second attempt of the first episode of the Nexus Trolls, a podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. So I'm your host, Linus Kilius, and in the Nexus, I guess people call me Daz, so we'll just go with that. And I'm joined, as always, by Shiz, and we've got a special guest this week, Mystic, who happens to be on Shiz's team as well. So hey, boys, welcome to the show. Let's get this started.
Let's do this.
So, Justin Timberlake, yeah, did I have
man.
frosted tips there? I don't even know.
Right.
The audio quality, yikes, it's come a long way. It's come a long way.
Tell us about your heartbreak, Daz, in song form, please.
That's coming.
later when he
That's
talks
coming
about-
later. But Mystic, let's pass the mic over to Mystic for a bit because he's been here since the beginning. Why did you agree to do this show, dude? Did you know like what you're getting yourself into at the time? What was that thought process at the beginning?
Well, I definitely did not know what I was getting into at the beginning, but yeah, at the beginning, you know, Shiz mentioned to me that you guys were doing a show and that Shiz liked my play. So I guess that was the only thing that it was based off of, I suppose. And then he's like, hey, you should come onto the show for, you know, to guest or whatever, and you should do the podcast. And I was like, okay, I guess. You know, I was kind of reluctant at first, but I was like, you know what? It's like some new experiences, right? So I just kind of went in there and, you know, did the show. It was pretty fun. And yeah, you guys had me on again, and it just went from there, really.
Again and again. And 78 episodes later, here we are. So LiQuiud came onto the show for the first time on episode 5. He was the special guest there. LiQuiud, you did it from an interesting venue. I think this one's kind of an interesting one. So why don't you tell us about it, bud?
So I actually want to go a little bit further back because I never told you or Mystic this.
Ooh.
But Shiz knew that I was like, dude, you guys are doing a show? That's awesome. Like, let me know if you need anything. Like, I totally want to do the show. Like, come on, man. I'll come on the show. I'll come on the show whenever you want. Like, totally, dude. Like, really, for real. And he never said anything. And I was always like, damn, dude, really? I would totally do the show with you. Like, come on. You know I know HOTS. And then episode 5 rolled around and you guys were like, hey, can you come on the show? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. But it worked out that I was driving to my dad's new house for Thanksgiving with the kids. And so we were driving along, and I was like, man, we're in the middle of Pennsylvania. We need to find a place to stop. So I brought my little laptop with me. I brought my hotspot and my camera, and I think the precursor to this headset, which was a wired version of this headset. This is a Bluetooth, and I use it only for the speakers. But at the time, I was using it for speakers, and it's like a cell phone headset that I had set up so that I could, you know, use that as my headset. And I did it from the van. I had stretched blankets behind me so you couldn't really see the van, and did it from the van. So yeah, yes.
So here's the clip. And we have a special guest this week as well. As you might notice, we're a little cramped in the video here. We've got a chair league caster and captain of both Shiz and Mystic's team, Unstable, LiQuiud. And before anyone decides to comment on it, yes, he spells it I-U-D at the end. So, hey, LiQuiud, welcome to the show, bud.
Hello.
And if you're wondering, too, LiQuiud is in his car in the parking lot at the moment. So we apologize if there's any quality issues, but it's coming through pretty good so far. That just shows the level of commitment he had. His family's inside of a restaurant now, I believe, and he's in the parking lot podcasting with us.
The ultimate troll. Guys go sit in there while Daddy does things.
So I was holding the laptop up on the dashboard so it would stay there. And so if you watch the episode every once in a while, you can see it like I have to move my arms. This is like I'm holding it arms out for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I didn't even get dinner because they went in and ate dinner. And then as soon as they got back, they came back to the van as the show ended, and we just kept driving.
It's too bad we didn't make the show a little bit longer to get your family.
What, they didn't get any to-go for you?
No, man.
Oh.
Daddy doesn't come in the restaurant. Daddy doesn't get fed.
Right? That's pretty much how.
That's what my wife would
But
say.
they took Daddy's credit card.
Big E just posted a tweet longer and then deleted it. No! Okay, all right. Keep going. I was going to derail you again.
Well,
but this is my next
you're
one
derailing
anyway.
yourself. So
I know, this is my next one. All right. So for the next one, I came to Daz like somewhere around episode 12 or 13. I was like, dude, I need you to come up with a tinfoil hat that you can pop on my head. Because you know I love to come up with conspiracy theories about why something is the way it is. I totally need a hat for that. He's like, all right, I got you. And he had a hat. And from time to time, you'll hear me ask, well, not after tonight, but you'll hear me ask, do you have the hat ready? So he can pop it on my head, because I like to come up with some Heroes of the Storm Illuminati stories.
So here's the first hat incident.
So actually, all right, so I want to go a little tinfoil hat for a minute, though. All right, so you may have heard a very large patch dropped this week. And I'm sure we'll go into some of those changes in a bit.
High quality production value right there. That was a quality gift that I found to toss on your head. So the next clip that we're going to show, one thing that we haven't done in a while, but we used to do fairly regularly, was a HOTS debate. This is where we'd have two of the show hosts would debate each other just over some random topic, and whoever lost would have to do some sort of punishment. One of the first ones we did required the loser, who was me, I think I was debating maybe Mystic at the time, to write a sonnet to Murky, an ode to Murky. So I wrote it. Alebeard, one of our periodic guests on the show, was actually there too, and I still think this is one of my personal favorite moments on the show.
Yes, this was amazing.
And just giving credit where credit's due.
This was also my first debate win.
my wife helped me write this, so I got to give credit where credit is due as well. I had to explain what Murky was. I was like, well, he's kind of like this annoying fish, slaps you in the face a lot, does like kind of like annoying slime all over the place. She's like, I got this. Let's write it together. And this is what came of it. Murky, when we met for the first time, you covered me in your exquisite slime. I could speak, I could only mime, for when I saw you, my heart did chime. And when you hit me with that fish, I heard it slap and felt it squish. To be so close to you is anguish, for you are my one and only wish. You jumped in a bubble and floated away, without so much as a curt good day. No backwards glance, to my dismay. You left me in such disarray. Living the dream or wrath of cod, your abilities some may deem odd, but I will follow you wherever you may trod, for you and I are like two peas in a pod. And when you were struck down with that killing blow, I did not think that I would know that there could be a tale of such woe. These seeds of love I would never sow. But like the phoenix rising from the flame, out of your egg you popped and made your claim on my heart, and it was never the same. My anguished soul only you can tame. I love you, Murky. I forgot how awesome that
So
was.
amazing. So amazing.
I teared up
If
a
that
little.
ever happened on the GankBush, someone would have died. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a fun segment. That was really fun to write, and one of the more enjoyable punishments we had to do. Speaking of not enjoyable punishments, though, we had one episode where was actually the last episode. Shiz, one of the founders of the show, was on. I HOTS debated him, and he lost, but he never came back to the show. He actually guessed it maybe 10 episodes ago, but he never came back to the show as a host. So I got a little bit of flack on Reddit when we kept doing this HOTS debate that no one actually did the first punishment, and I couldn't get Shiz back on the show. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do it. So I did it for him and kind of left Mystic a little out to dry. Mystic had to do the news segment a little bit by himself because those peppers were damn spicy. Was that a fun news segment to do there, Mystic? What did you think of that whole debacle?
Well, I found it kind of funny that, Shiz, he lost and then he didn't come back for the punishment. So then, you had to do it. I think it was good for you to bite the bullet there. I think you had the worst time of it than I did because, you were eating that pepper and I was just doing the news segment. So
I felt bad, though. It lasted about 5 minutes, but I clipped it in a bit of a montage. So here we go. So I went to the grocery store and I got some red Thai hot peppers, which I've been told are very spicy. They're 100,000 on the Scoville scale, which is the way that you can actually rate spiciness. Now, I think jalapenos are somewhere around 5,000 to 8,000. I'm not sure if it's a linear scale. I sure hope it is because I'm a baby when it comes to spice. And oh my gosh, here we go. All right, you can go ahead.
All right. So for our news segment, on the PTR, we've had a couple of reworks, a big or small, depending on how you want to look at it. We got Murky rework, and I know a lot of people are excited for this. It's of course a rework, and people were really excited to see, hey, will Murky make it back into the meta or not?
Oh my god, these are spicy, by the way. I've got the hiccups. I haven't had the hiccups in years. Jesus. Mystic, I'm going to need to go get some more milk.
you keep going. When you get run out of steam, just start Mystic's corner shakedown thing. Because oh man, I need some more milk. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Man, those peppers must have been really spicy.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was an interesting segment, and I don't think I've ever watched what happened after because I had to leave to get some more milk because I couldn't handle it at all. But yeah, man, those peppers.
As
They
soon
did
as you
number.
pop the second one in like popcorn, your eyes were like, "Oh my god, this is spicy!" And you put two more
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why you kept going.
Well, the funny thing is, like, it takes a second, like more than a second. It takes like 30 seconds to a minute to like really kick in. So I was like trying to be a hero, like I'm on the podcast, I'm live. I'm gonna just make a show of this. And then I was like in way too deep. I actually got the hiccups too. I couldn't like stop like this like convulsion bit. I was like pounding milk, like trying my hardest, but it eventually got to the point where I was like, I have to go, Mystic. You're handling this for yourself. You're dealing with the show solo. The only time I think anyone's done it solo. Okay, like what happened?
Holy shit! The drama is real, boys. All right, okay. I'm sorry because the drama just like went from like 20 to like 100. In our chat, Schizophrenic just posted a link to a tweet from Akaface, who was responding to Udall's tweet, which is the actual fucking email from Ryan at GFE saying he wants the spot to go to Fury into Aka. Like, this is what he wants done. Like, to Blizzard.
This can't end well.
What the fuck?
This shouldn't be coming out in public. Just the whole situation seems to be handled very poorly from what I can glean from this. You shouldn't be making public statements and having people like,
Oh my
double
god.
back on
No,
things.
first of all, no. All right, so I'm very torn. First of all, I feel like I should say three things. One, people that talk to any of the trolls people in confidence, that confidence stays. We don't share anything that we've possibly heard. Two, this shit should definitely stay private and should not be leaking out all over the internet. Three, as a drama whore, I am loving the last 10 minutes.
You definitely make a good host of like a reality show for HEC.
Dude,
Why would he put that up there?
what? Right? Like, why? Like,
There's
why would
obviously
you
a
do
lot
this?
of bad blood here going down. This is not a
Yeah.
good situation. If you've got to put it out there in public, it's because you don't have any other outlet to get this out.
Right. Oh no, there's definitely that's like it did. Dude,
You'd all straight up lied. Then
I
if this
told
is
you,
true.
I told you that shit wasn't 100% right, and then it was some blending of the two.
Breaking live. Well,
Dude,
we.
all right, I'm sorry. Keep
It's all right.
going.
We also surprised LiQuiud. Maybe not this much of a surprise, because we didn't quite get that reaction. One of our last HOTS debates that we did on episode 46, when Cavalier Guest was one of our guests, Mystic and LiQuiud were supposed to be going after
Dirty
each
pool,
other.
man.
LiQuiud did his opening statement, and then Mystic, what'd you do, bud? You pulled the shade over his eyes and pulled the carpet from under his feet, right?
Oh yeah. Since LiQuiud was winning a lot of those debates, decided to put on a little a little trap here where we had a Cavalier Guest debate LiQuiud. So
Yeah, and
I remember
Yeah.
this.
here's
This dirty pool, man. Dirty pool.
here's a clip. So LiQuid had no idea this was coming. This is in the middle of the debate because LiQuid already said his first 2 minutes, and the Mystic's like this. Mystic, do you have a defense prepared for that?
well, by right of this duel, I'd like to nominate a champion,
Wait,
and I
wait,
choose
hold
Cavalier
on.
Guest. I'm throwing
What
him
is
into the ring.
happening?
LiQuid, over the course of last week, you may have noticed I never anywhere said that Mystic's going to be the one against you in this
Oh
debate.
my god, you guys are killing me here.
Well, and there it is. Cavalier Guest was very eloquent and a very good debater, as you'd probably imagine if you've ever seen Cavalier Guest do any sort of analysis or breakdown. But LiQuid, how'd the vote end up going for that HOTS debate?
I believe I still won.
You did,
So-
sir. It was close.
Yeah.
But even
That
Cavalier
was
Guest could take on
that
the
one
Titan.
scared me. I did not think I was winning that one. That one scared me.
I was like
Honestly.
sitting up in the chair, and I was like, "Get him!"
Yeah.
That scared. Like that I was not prepared for that one.
I'll attest that the fact maybe Cavalier guest held back a little bit, right? No, he gave it all he got, but you ended up coming out in the end, and I think you can be wholeheartedly deemed our HOTS debate champion over the years. So we had another surprise. Yeah, another scepter, the king of the HOTS debate. So we had another surprise for LiQuiuD, Mystic, and Bacon was on the show too. Our 50th episode.
I want to actually talk about this a little bit.
Go for it.
All I know, like leading up to this, was Daz was like, I have something special planned. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. I have something special planned. Be prepared. And we're like, that's cool. What is it? I'm not going to tell you. And like all this stuff was done in secret. And we had no idea, right? We had no idea what was going on. And then he just hits a magic button. Did you have your Stream Deck or did you just click
I did.
into it?
This would be impossible, that one. I had a Stream Deck going, so it helped with the production value of it. And it's actually turned into like an ongoing series. The GankBush Squad is actually the current champions. Bacon's been on every single Nexus feud we've ever done, and he's going to be on the next one because he won the previous one. But here is what happened on the 50th episode when I pulled the shade off of everyone's eyes. I know LiQuiuD's nervous. I can see him like sweating buckets already. So, guys, are you ready for this?
No, but okay, let's do it.
Because it's time for the feud! But I would like to introduce to you our LiQuiuD family. That's LiQuiuD and Bags here on my right. And they're going to be taking on the Mystic family, Mystic and Bacon. And Nexus Feud was born. So
it was amazing.
It was a lot of fun. And Mystic actually after the show said he's like, I didn't know what Family Feud was, guys. I went in assuming everyone knew what it was, and I didn't really explain the rules very much because I didn't want to bog down the show with the details of that. But you did pretty well considering you've never played or seen the feud before, Mystic.
I mean, I took a look at the design. I'm like, it's some sort of like Jeopardy kind of show, isn't it?
Yes. Well, now you're well acquainted with the Family Feud, at least the Nexus version of it, which I still will be doing going forward too, even though we're retiring from the Nexus Trolls. One interesting answer we had from Bacon that we've been talking about quite a bit was
so that's what this means in the show notes. Oh,
yes, my friend, that's what this means in the show
Bacon's team made it to Fast Money, and well, I guess I'll let the answer speak for themselves. If you could go on a date with any Heroes of the Storm female, who would it be?
GOONHOTS.
GOONHOTS. I think I understand that the question probably wasn't phrased the best, but most people would probably assume we meant hero, not HGC caster. But still, I think we got a Gilly retweet out of that or something.
We did get a Gilly retweet out of that,
which was pretty fantastic. And then the final clip that we're going to show. After doing the Ode to Murky earlier on in the Nexus Trolls, I wanted to do something again similar, and it was around Christmas. So I figured, hey, you know what best way? And I like, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is one of my favorite Christmas movies. Yep. So I was like, they do the night before Christmas. I was like, I gotta twist that into night before Nextmas. So it was Twas the Night Before Nextmas. This one's a little bit longer, but definitely worth the listen.
Wait.
What? Sorry, wasn't this what?
What wasn't this leading into 2.0?
It was past 2.0. It was Christmas time, so the balance, the new gameplay updates were just released. So with like the laning changes and the globe gathering changes, that kind of thing as context. Okay, so going back to the clip. Oh, hello there. I'm glad you could join us. 'Twas the night before Nextmas, and all through the world Wintervale was stirring, recently unfurled. Gamer stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that epic loot boxes soon would be there. Gingerbread Nazebo on his gingerbread sleds, and visions of Sugar Plum Sylvanas dance in our heads. And not only that, but what arrives in our lap? The 2018 gameplay update, many surprises to unwrap. And even though ranked play caused such a clatter, we all quickly realized it really shan't matter. Because Blizzard is here, and just like a flash, they'll fix all that's broken. There's no reason to gnash. And we've got game changes galore, you must certainly know. The game is much different than nary a short time ago. Supports were nerfed to everyone's great fear. What will happen to my Rhaegar that I hold so dear? When it comes time to draft, I won't know whom to pick. No more double support meta. This fixed that right quick. Then stealthies were where the next changes came. They're easier to spot, or so Blizzard does claim. There's Nova, there's Valeera. I see what they're fixin'. For Zeratul, for Samuro. Harder to get their licks in. And how about the new mercs? They're tougher to fall. And if you leave them alone, they'll get more than the wall. That's certainly not it. Blizzard's given us quite a bit more. It turns out laning is no longer a bore. Globes can now be contested, making laning tough work. Steal the enemy's globe, and they'll think you're a jerk. You can't drain tower ammo and make it quicker to fall. You now have to apply pressure to take down that wall. This game we all love is now better than ever. I bet those people at Blizzard think they're awfully clever. To those that gave me something upon which to rhyme, I'd like to thank you for your hard work and your time. You've created a community that we all hold so dear. Everyone's looking forward to the upcoming year. And thankfully we end with no Hanamura in sight. With that, happy Nextmas to all, and to all, a good night. And that is the final flashback that we've got.
We had a great time doing this, man.
We did.
There's a lot of cool things we did.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd encourage anyone who's ever considering getting into any sort of like community content creation to give it a hand. Like when we started this show, like I think the same thing. I've talked to some of the guys at the GankBush Squad before too, and it was just like, you know, you just wanted to chat about HOTS, or you just found yourself doing it already, so you decided, hey, like let's do this and hit the record button and see what happens. Like, who cares if anyone listens? Like, I'm gonna do it for fun. I'm gonna do it for enjoyment. Like, you know, if people listen and we create community out of it, great. And I think we have created an awesome community. We've made a lot of friends in the community out of this, a lot of great listeners that we play regular games with and everything too, that I'd consider to be very good friends, some of which we met at BlizzCon last year, some of which I'm looking forward to meeting at BlizzCon this year too. I think this journey through the Nexus Trolls has been a great one, and it's not the final chapter in any of our journeys here. Both Mystic, myself, and LiQuiud are going to be doing content. LiQuid's still going to be doing Troll and HGC. I'm going to be doing Nexus Feud. But still, it's a great journey, and it was time to turn the page. And like I said at the beginning of the show, no one better to hand the torch to than GOONHOTS and his crew. So any of you faithful listeners who've been listening, definitely make sure you give that a chance. But if you don't like it, GankBush Squad. Right, Bacon?
What?
Why not both?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not both?
Exactly.
So the other thing I was going to throw out there is like also, if you're one of those people who thinks you want to create content and you're not sure how to get started, or you want to do it but you're afraid of taking the leap or whatever, hit me up. I'm always looking to help. I think I've found a nice sweet spot of like an incubator, if you will, of new content. If you look, like three of our writers have actually moved on is the wrong word, but have expanded beyond what we gave them a platform to do. Romedy has consulted with a number of HGC teams as an esports psychologist. Based off he released 2 articles on our website. Heroes Hearth hit him up like instantly, and he's consulted with multiple teams now.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's amazing, and props to him. Like, he's doing all the work, so I don't want it to sound like he does all the work, but he wanted to do this, and I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. Rosai is about to release a first thoughts on Diablo on Team LiQuiud tomorrow. He started writing with us. So like maybe that's our niche. We'll incubate other content people to like push you out. I'm working on finding a stream team coordinator so we can have a stream team. Like there's all sorts of things. So if you have any idea about some kind of content you think you want to create, whether it's related to Heroes of the Storm or not, hit me up on Twitter. You can always DM me at LiQuidGG. You can DM the show. You can email. Like, there's all sorts of ways to contact us. Like, seriously, hit me up. I'll see if we can do something.
Yeah, and LiQuiud really means that too. He's very approachable, so don't feel like there's any sort of barrier to getting in touch with him. Even if it's just something like you're thinking about doing it and you don't like know how to get started, like even just send him that message and spam his inbox full of stuff. He'll read it all and reply to it all.
Well, like Goon and I are already like something he said triggered something I was thinking about, and we're already thinking about another direction to possibly take something else in. Like just a random, he's like, what about this idea? And I'm like, oh my God. And like all of a sudden it snowballed into like, this could be amazing. So like it seriously, DM me. If nothing else, send me a DM on Twitter. I will absolutely at least tell you, hey, I'm really busy. I will get back to you soon because work has been really crazy busy lately. But I will absolutely talk about it, talk to you about it, get on Discord, have a chat about like, there's no, and if you just want to help trolls out, check out trolls.gg/ads. I think that's it. We have a lot of positions open that we're trying to get people in on. So yeah, trolls.gg/ads, ADS.
So Mystic, is there anything you want to reflect on before we close out our final show as hosts? The show's still going on, but just as hosts.
Not really, other than what LiQuiud said. Like if there's an opportunity out there that you find even remotely interesting, just take a look, jump at it. I mean, I kind of got here just because I took the leap into something like this that I thought was kind of interesting. So you never know what the opportunity or where the opportunities are going to take you.
Cool. Now it's time to sign off. We're out of time, so we're gonna have to bump Mystic's Shakedown until next week. No, just kidding. memes are real.
The meme is real.
Mystic didn't have it.
Just do an impromptu one and say "get good" or something. As your final send off.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Mystic didn't have one for this week because we knew it was gonna be a long show, and he felt like the last one was kind of the good like icing on the cake. So it's time to do the final.
The last one was really good.
It was.
To be honest,
they were all really
like
good.
all of them were, but the last one was like really in depth. You should definitely check it out. Also, it was last week when we were talking about the theory of positivity, or being positive in your games and knowing that you can do something.
Yeah.
Romany is working on an article for that. That should be published in the next week or so.
Yeah,
to go in depth on that.
Rami just defended
on the Trolls Network.
Yes.
Romedy just defended his thesis, I think about maybe a month ago. Maybe it's now Dr. Romedy. So, yeah, congratulations to Romedy. He's a great person, and like I said, he touts himself as the esports psychologist, and I think rightfully so. He's a very talented and bright individual. Okay, so time for the final sign-off for the show. Thank you to our chieftain, Super Dave, for pledging his support to the Trolls and being a friend of the show since pretty much the beginning. If you'd like to be a chieftain just like Super Dave, you can head over to patreon.com/trolls.gg and donate at least $10 a month to get that acknowledgement at the end of both this as well as Troll and HGC. Thank you everyone, old and new, for listening to the Nexus Trolls, a Heroes of the Storm podcast, which we stream live on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/trollsgg every week on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and we will continue to do so just with Goon and Company. Bacon, if people are looking for you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Bacon Huts, and then on Twitch when I do my quarterly one stream. It's Bacon Huts. You can find me on the GankBush. What's
your
up?
Watching party for Fringe's placements was pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, and then I tried to tie it in with The Last Jedi and all the trailers and stuff. Yeah, that was a fun time. And him carrying with Sonya. Oh my god.
Sorry, not to interrupt you. You telling everybody where they can find GankBush Squad.
Just at GankBushSquad.com. It's a bunch of dick jokes, and we try to talk about the meta and have a good time and try to get better as a team. And before I pass the torch along, I just want to say thank you guys for all your hard work. I know, like, what the most of the listeners see is only an hour and a half a week, but I've had a peek behind the curtain on your Discord, your your chats about how to improve the show and all the other things. And I know how much work it takes to actually do all this stuff. So thank you for your hard work. Thank you for being genuine, because you guys, we kind of approached each other and started chatting with each other kind of early in our show's lives. And, we kind of grew as cousin that shows
brothers.
that
Come
was really
on, guy.
fun.
We're close
Brother?
cousins.
Brothers,
All
man,
right,
brothers.
brother. Okay.
We're siblings, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sibling shows. Yeah. It was fun to be kind of like part of that same generation where we like almost started kind of at the same time. And like I said, you guys are always genuine nice guys. Even though the show sometimes is a little bit too Canadian and nice for me, a little too fluffy, right? A little too flowery, but that's just my style, right?
Yeah.
See, the GankBush Squad Twitch account says not brother, so all right, cousins.
Notice you're the
second
one
cousin, second cousins, maybe. All right.
Well, thanks. The words.
I prefer mistresses.
Nice. I mean, that sounds about right for him.
Oh, geez.
But you guys have been great. I hope to meet you guys in BlizzCon, and then we'll obviously keep interacting with each other, because you guys are not stepping like out of the Trolls network or anything.
Right?
So right. It's just
we're not doing this single show now. I mean, you got to talk to Daz. He's gonna Nexus feud you guys again.
Yeah. If you guys keep winning, I can't get rid of you, right?
Right.
I'll be stuck with the
all the GankBush Squad. All we do is win.
It's the reason their in-game channel is called Win Time.
Right. And now that
you guys.
GOONHOTS has taken over the Nexus Trolls, it is time for the GankBush Squad to declare war on the Nexus Trolls.
Official declaration of war.
Yeah, bitch.
It's going down. Luckily, myself, Mystic, and LiQuiud can sit on the sidelines and watch that play out. So Goon's gonna do well, but not better than us.
What?
You'll be fine. What
the
Twitter
dirty
thing?
laundry keeps coming.
Oh my. So LiQuiud, it's your time to sign off, so you can also sign off and tell this too. Tell us what happened, bud.
All right. First, check out chat. You'd all replied to Akaface's tweet. It's like, and now Aka's saying no, show all of it. Like, shit's getting real.
Ooh my soap opera.
This is gonna be crazy for the next day or two. But more importantly, all right. You can find me trying to make trolls.gg the best place that we can on the internet. I work with anybody and everybody trying to, help expand and make sure that we give a platform to everybody. But your best way to follow me and see what I'm doing specifically is on Twitter at LiQuiudGG. That's LiQiuDGG. I tweet anything that catches my eye. I do a lot of favoriting too. I always have DMs open. So if you have something you want to ask or bring up or whatever, just DM me on Twitter, man. Or women. I was using the generic man there. I will talk to anybody about anything. And I will really talk to anybody about HGC. Like, Daz can't get me to shut up about it sometimes.
You don't even ask me to start talking about it.
Right. I will still be doing trolling HGC every week. That'll be Bags, me, and Goon. We love doing that show, and that's not going anywhere. I will be, again this year, center front row for all of HGC at BlizzCon.
He's not lying. He was center front row the entire 2 days.
Yep. I think
saved me a seat the whole time.
It was like one match. The first match, we were second row, and then as soon as the people left, we moved up. After that one set, we moved up to the front row. The rest of the weekend, front row whole time. So if you're going to BlizzCon, I will be front and center. You can find me. We're gonna have some cool giveaways this year. Daz and I have some great ideas, mostly Daz, because I suck at creativity when it comes to that kind of stuff. But we're gonna have some cool things to give away, and everything that people donate, Patreon, PayPal, subs, like Twitch subs, any of that stuff, it all gets sunk back into how much loot I can bring to BlizzCon and give away to you guys. So, yes.
So, how about you, Mystic? Where can people find you going forward?
You can find me at Mystic Shroud on Twitter.
And you can find me at DazHots. I will no longer be on the Nexus Trolls, but I'll be doing the Nexus Feud, Creators of the Storm, the annual or semi-annual tournament that we're going to be doing with all the different podcasts and shows. So check that out. It's on Trolls.gg's website as well. And also, I'll be still dabbling with Bush League Monday nights. We're just kind of getting to the end of Season 1, starting to think about Season 2. So looking forward to all that kind of stuff. Thanks to our Patreon supporters. Actually, I already did that. Subscribe to our show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you happen to find your podcasts online. You can visit our website, trolls.gg/TheNexusTrolls, to watch this and past shows, along with past video streams, which can also be found on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TrollsGG. For announcements about the show and general Heroes of the Storm news, you can follow us on Twitter at TheNexusTrolls or even at TrollsGG, all one word for the network's announcements and news. If you want to hang out with the Trolls community in-game, you can /join TrollsGG in-game or join our Discord channel. The information for that is at trolls.gg/Discord. And finally, if you need to get in touch with us, the best way is by email at TheNexusTrolls@TrollsGG. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.
Cause I'm TNT, I'm dynamite. TNT, and I'll win that fight. TNT, I'm a power load. TNT, watch me explode.
Wish I could mic drop this mic, but you can't. So
No,
later,
don't
everybody.
mic drop that mic, please.
Toss the whole stand. Toss the whole stand. Do it.
Later, everybody.
You guys are great.